Hey, what's up? Hello. Kage Banshin no Jutsu. Oh, there's three of us.
What the hell?
That's Blue. That was my shadow clone. You understand? You get it?
Speaking Japanese?
Hi. We got Blue's house in the building. We got Marcus here. We're going to talk comic books to begin with. We got to talk about Dark Horse and DC. One like polar opposite from the other. And then we'll get into the things that you expect us to talk about, which is the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. And I hope we can talk Netflix's Nemesis. We'll see where each of us are in that series, and we'll get into some more things regarding the franchises we love, Marvel and DC. But hi, Blue. Why did you want to join today?
No, I just ain't with y'all in a minute, man. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like shit. Let me kick it with the homies, man.
You missed this, man.
Chill, I miss you, man. I miss Marcus too, but Chill be like disappearing on me, man.
Yeah, incognito.
Bust down, Pantheonas. Happy Thursday. It's good to see everybody. Blue, thanks for joining us. Like Chill said, got a packed slate, so let's go ahead and get into it. What's first?
Well, Dark Horse. There's the comic book publisher, excuse me. A lot of the staff, they're like, hey, why don't we like unionize, bro? And they're like, yeah, let's unionize. And they have their own little Instagram
Why
account.
don't we unionize, bro?
Yeah, dude, like what workers' rights and all that stuff. Now, obviously, they're Dark Horse, and they're not the ones that are making billion-dollar movies, but could be a sign. And some of these writers do end up writing for other companies. So maybe the Dark Horse Union can be a comic book all-around union. And I don't know who gets accepted. I don't know how you qualify. Like, if you write one comic book, you're part of the union. Like, there should be a process to get certified.
Yeah, pay dues and stuff like that. It's like a membership thing.
Well, something fair, something not like, because obviously I don't want every single one joining it who writes a comic book. That's unfair. But more on it is
Why is that unfair?
Because if you just write one comic book and then you reap the benefits of like the union, I feel like you haven't really contributed. You're just some.
Well, it would be based off a dude. You know, I mean, most unions you can't just be in a union without
paying dues.
Yeah, you got to contribute something. So if they don't, I feel what you're saying. Like if they only do one, I get what you're saying. But if they do that one and they got the money to just be paying into the union, you know.
Also, unions are built to protect business relationships for workers. Yeah. So in any instance that you enter into a business relationship, you're eligible to be in a union.
Like I'm like where I work at, you know what I'm saying? And I work for the federal government, but we got a union. We unionize, you know what I'm saying? And we have to pay into it.
You guys know that
that's why they want them union jobs gone.
It was announced that the workers of Dark Horse Comics are forming a union. It is a very exciting time, and if you're a supporter of me, then I hope you would support this as well. Not only because I work here, but I hope that you guys also believe in the cause. Here is our press release, which you can pause to read, as well as the caption that was on our Instagram post from earlier this morning. Like I mentioned at the start of the video, something that is very important for this union campaign is public support. And the best way you could show your public support is by signing this petition. It is incredibly simple to do, and if you would like to go do so, you can find it in the link in my bio. I made it as easy as possible for you guys to find the link and go sign the petition, so please take the time out of your day to do so. The union has a few different social media accounts that you can go follow. Here is the Instagram. It's also on Twitter and Blue Sky, and finally on Tumblr. It's just the beginning of what's probably going to be a very long journey, so I really hope you guys are able to support. You guys...
Oh,
yeah, the effort is there, and it makes me want to buy a Dark Horse comic book. I don't know which one, but it makes me think.
Who's Dark Horse?
Dark Horse got a whole bunch of... They almost went bankrupt in like the last 2 years, but they kind of bounced back a little bit, but they got a lot of stuff. They've been all over the place. They lost... Who did they have? They had the Turtles and all.
I was like Ninja Turtles. This Dark Horse is Spawn. Spawn is
Image. That's
Image. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, Dark Horse was just grabbing up. I don't know what their main title would be because they're indie. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I don't know what their main title, and it's not like a Dark Horse universe or anything like how Marvel has. You know what I'm saying? And DC got it all like that. So I don't know what but they had like Till said, they had Star Wars at one time, Alien. I want to say Predator.
They had the rights to distribute Yanu.
Okay. Yeah.
So interesting. But yeah, no, definitely a good look on the union. Again, anybody working in any type of structure really could benefit from a union. So
it's gonna be a hella long battle. And I don't know who the Dark Horse commissioner is, president, the CEO, the guy who's gonna stop that or be the one who's gonna be the Jeff Bezos over there. I don't know him. Maybe ideologically he is like, unions makes sense. Let's negotiate something, guys. This doesn't have to be long and drawn out. I don't know.
Go ahead,
Mark. Go ahead. You got it.
I was gonna say, who's next up?
For Brad Winterbaum?
No. In terms of unionizing their industry, who's next up. There's an industry that's primed right now in entertainment for somebody to come in there and be like, hey, let's go ahead and unionize. Well, they should have been unionized, but not them. They're in love with their masters. Yeah. It's the wrestlers.
Oh, wrestlers.
It's wrestlers. It's professional wrestlers. Oh, they are prime. They're prime.
Because it's only one. It's one. You know what I'm saying? It's really just one. So why not?
You need the top guys to care about that, and the top guys are the most incentivized not to unionize.
Well, Hogan's dead.
But that's how it always is, though. They pay
Roman Reigns wants to make America great again. I don't think he's the leader that you're looking for.
The thing is that wrestling is in a spot right now where, sure, do we have bona fide stars in professional wrestling? Absolutely. On both shows. You got your Roman Reigns and Seth and MJF and Swerve and all those guys. You got big names in wrestling. Absolutely. Don't want to take anything away from that, guys. Those names, and compared to the Cenas, the Lesners, the Dwayne Johnsons of the world, they're not necessarily carrying the product to new heights. Not these days. We can keep playing with the attendance numbers and, maybe make something out of the WWE AEW rivalry. But at the end of the day, the the tired propaganda of the sport is never bigger than it's ever been can eat a dick. That's let's cut it out. So are they at a spot where they could, we can pay Seth to stay. We can pay, Roman and all those guys to stick around. But the entire middle part of your roster ends up seeking greener pastures, if not AEW, then just straight up indie. That doesn't necessarily say that you're in the best position of negotiating. Yeah. You don't need every top guy. Maybe the middle class. You don't need all of them.
Middle class is those are the mountain movers.
Look how they doing them though. Look at how they did New Day. Come back, and we want you to come back and go the next 5 years that you just negotiated last year for half. Okay, so that's not a position of strength. That's, hey, I need the money back, so take it or walk.
I hear you. Wrestling's, I still disagree that I don't think they have balls, but they could honestly, just like Oscar Robertson did at the NBA All-Star game all those years back. He's like, we're not going to come out for the second half until we get this Players Association. They could do the same at the Royal Rumble. They could say, hey, look, we're not going to do this 30-man Rumble, 30-woman Rumble but they just won't. But that's opinions.
What would this mean for the overall comic book industry? Because and I know we're going to be getting into the DC So White and the DC Blackout and everything like that. Because the way I'm looking at it, and my homie Brad Wonderbaum, that's what I'm rooting for right now.
That's your homie.
That's my homie. Because I'm anti-Feige, so I had to pick one over there, Marv. If I'm picking somebody's
Brad, that's his boy.
I know, but sometimes the spawn is better than what it's spawned from. You know what I'm saying? And I believe in Brad. I'm hopeful. Okay. I believe in Brad. But the question being, Dark Horse unionizes. Well, to me, it would have to be. I hate that it's just Dark Horse, right? I know you have to start somewhere, but it need to be like comic creators or comic writers. It need to be a bigger pot. You see what I'm saying? It's with it being small right now and being specific, I think they can get it done because it's just specifically for Dark Horse and working under Dark Horse having a union. But if we can, that's right. If we can make it broader, make it bigger, and we can get one of the big two or one of the big three involved, or make, you know what I'm saying? Because the thing about it is writers jump from spot to spot to spot. And I think that's or I should say creators. Comic book creators jumping from, you know what I'm saying, Dark Horse, Valiant, DC, Marvel, yada, yada, yada. If I unionize at Dark Horse and then I go over here to Marvel, I'm not, does that still carry over? You see what I'm saying?
No, the wave, the unionization movement goes with you. You're gonna say, why are we not unionized here at Dark Horse? If we make a movie, if they make a movie out this, we're entitled to a blank percentage or whatever it is. We got to bring that here. And maybe Marvel will only give you 1%, whereas Dark Horse gives you 10% of every movie or whatever.
See, that's the point of unionizing, because now we can go to a Marvel and a DC and a Dark Horse at the same time. We can send all of them the same terms, right? As a union, this is what we want our pay structure to look like. I'm sure they'll send it back, but now it forces them to deal fair across the board.
Because I'm looking at I'm sorry, Chill. I'm looking at the Hollywood, you know, the actors, their union, the writers got their own union, the directors got theirs, you know what I'm saying, their guilds and things of that nature. And I'm looking at, you know, they go from Warner Brothers, working for Warner Brothers, to working for Fox, to working for such and such, but that union is broad in the industry.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So what will begin as a Dark Horse exclusive union will just become the comic book industry union.
Hopefully.
I mean, it'll take years to get there. It'll take years to get there. But what the perks would be are, if our thing blows up and you make movies and TV shows, we're entitled to a percentage or some sort of compensation. That's probably the number one biggest perk that they can ask for. But I don't know what else could they ask for. Really, after that.
So similar to how TV
page rate.
Yeah. Similar how TV works, right? If we hit a 5th season, we in syndication, you pay me for the rest of my life. So if I hit issue 100, if I hit issue 100, pay me, boy. Every time this thing is remade or whatever, however it reprint end up being a residual.
You know, reprints, first look for rights, things of that nature. Like, you know, if I create, like Rob Liefeld, I think is a perfect example. You know what I'm saying? Because we see him being real vocal when it comes to Deadpool. You know what I'm saying? What's going on? He talked about how not being invited to the damn premiere and all of that. But I think his whole thing is, with me being a creator or co-creator of that, I should get a percentage. Y'all making these billion-dollar movies, and I ain't saying a dime. Y'all want to give me $1,000 and tell me to shut up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I should get some points off of this, because the only reason why Deadpool exists is me.
I think that's a fair ask, and they're obviously not going to give it to you. So fight for it and unionize everybody. And aside from that, they could also ask for merchandising. Then they could, but page rate, I don't, because then a comic book just won't be launched if the page rate is so damn expensive. The publishers will
you have a standard. So, you coming in. You a brand new creator, brand new writer. You now have a standard page rate to pay no matter what. Like, you can't go below this standard. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay,
it ain't got to be high. It's just like working in movies. Like, if I'm a card carrying member, you have to pay me this hourly wage on it. You have to, and you can't go below that. You see what I'm saying?
The problem with that is that the book is not going to sell enough units to justify the page.
That's just like,
so they won't even greenlight it.
We don't know how much the movie is going to sell neither. But
what?
Yeah, we don't. When making a movie, if all four of us were hired on a movie, right? I'm a veteran. I've done films already, so I would get a higher payout than probably y'all, right? You coming in, Chill, you might be a rookie. Marcus might have done 2 movies, you know what I'm saying? Darius is brand new. So you and Darius brand new. It's a standard. They have to pay you this. They can't be like, well, Chill, I don't know, I don't really like. They have to pay you this. You see what I'm saying? They got to, no matter what the
floor,
movie,
like they can't go below the certain.
No matter what the movie makes or not, you have to get paid.
Yeah, I gotta.
We're all at the end of the day, working for Marvel, you're a contractor, Working for Fox as an actor, you're a contract worker. You don't work for Fox. You see what I'm saying? You coming in as a contractor, working for yourself. That's why the union exists, so you can have a standard of pay. That makes sense?
No, it doesn't make sense in the comic book world, because your standard of pay, if it's this justified high ass, let's call it $300 per page rate, I come in there with my $300. They're gonna go, okay, well, that would mean we need to sell 15,000 units, and they go, Chillmonger is not.
Why are the artists and writers getting paid off the performance of the book? Why don't they have a salary? When is that new, or is that how it goes in the industry? You get paid based off the success of your book?
I heard it was just page rate. Like
you just get paid. So that's how you would set it up. You would say, okay, well, I'm an experienced writer. I'm Jonathan Hickman. You're going to pay me $85,000 an issue, or whatever it is. I'm Teenie Howard. I suck donkey hairs. You're going to pay me $25,000 an issue, right? Like that's it. It just creates a hierarchy to tell you where your negotiating points are.
Yeah,
that's you can't lowball people into bad deals.
And then if the book you write does good, you now have more negotiating power the next time up. Because like I said,
that exists now.
Huh?
That exists now. You get more negotiation power.
It exists now, but even if Jonathan Hickman went to Dark Horse and Dark Horse said, you know what, Jonathan Hickman, you dope, but we only want to pay you 5 cents a page. They can say that. That's what I'm getting at. You see what I'm saying? Not that they would. I know Chill looking like, what? Not that they would. I'm saying they would be well within their right to say that.
To offer that. And then Hickman gets to say no.
That. Now, Hickman to say no, of course. I'm saying Hickman will go over there already knowing what his, like Marcus said, what his floor is. And if you want to negotiate higher, he could. Now it's up to them to say no. The ball is in their court. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just disagree with the weight. I see what you're saying. I just disagree hugely. We got a dancing man in the green room about to show back up. Hello, JP.
What is going on, folks? Sorry about that. Had to go make it a quick appearance. How y'all doing?
Don't worry about it. We got to talk DC So White. But just so we don't, neglect these supers that literally just came in, we're going to address some super chats. Get ready.
I'm going to get money no matter the coast. Having some water, I'm having some boats. Got that dope dick, that show lows. He's a worker and I am a boss.
Quasimodo, $4.99. What do you each think is the worst superhero live action show from each service or network? Unanimous decision, Secret Invasion?
Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights.
Ooh,
yeah.
Came out left field with that one.
Because I can deal with bad AI and Don Cheadle being a Skrull. What I can't deal with is stupid versions of the Bat family that amount to nothing by the end of the show.
That old school Birds of Prey.
Oh no, old school Birds of Prey is great. No, like that was it's very much like akin to Smallville, where it's of its time. Like it's like how back when X-Men first came out and it was all in black leather. Like you take it for what it was and enjoy the time capsule. Like now, granted, there's things like Steel, that was just crazy, and we don't talk about that no more. Like Shaq was off the wall. But like when it comes to things like Birds of Prey, heck, they even got Mark Hamill to voice the Joker that shot Barbara in that show.
Yeah,
it did things and innovated things that like were ended up using later on. So it definitely gets props for what it did in its time, but like it's very much of its time.
Oh, he's asking service. He's asking like Netflix and CW.
Yeah, Netflix got to be Jupiter Ascending.
Oh,
yes,
no question. No question. Yeah, no question.
I would see. I can't give it to Iron Fist. Like if we're talking Disney Plus, I would say Inhumans if we're doing that. Like because I can at least forgive Iron Fist for trying. Inhumans just like.
That was bad.
On CW, what was Flash, Green Arrow? What was there?
Arrow, but like that's just my hottest take.
Arrow.
You ain't like Arrow?
No, sir.
Because
I would rather watch Green Arrow, not Green Batman. Thank you.
Green Bat, yeah. That's always the when it comes to that.
You have failed this city is just I'm not wearing hockey pads. Like it's the same thing.
Okay, now Prime, everyone. What's the worst one on Prime? The Tick.
The Tick.
The Tick. The live action Tick.
Yeah,
I never watched it. Never watched it. I don't think I wanted to watch it.
But appreciate you, Quasimodo, for the super duper ooper chat. Kobe. $2 from Battery. By 2050, USA will be majority non-white. Fascinating.
Nice. Here for it.
But it's 2026, then the globe is majority not white.
Yeah, but white folks still be upset about it, trying to like force their majority to still exist. So it'd be what it is.
Would you say that USA so white?
Yes, especially with our government right now. Yes.
Western Hemisphere, so white.
Yes. He's not wrong.
Okie dokie. The DC So White campaign representative is in the building. Jay Penumbra. Hello, sir.
Hello.
A few months ago, you brought attention to how it's been 1,000 days without a DC ongoing series in mainline continuity. And it's reached 1,200 days. And when that happened, you said, phase 2. And this isn't a response to Static being added as a team member on New Titans.
No. We had told before this announcement, we were like, hey, you have till it hits 1,200 days. Like, we put it out well in advance. Like, y'all have time. We will give you plenty of time. You can say something. You could walk out to a con, because Snyder's been to like 3 cons since we said the phase 2 drops on this day. Like, they could have waved a flag. They could have marched out Stephanie Williams and let her make her Vixen pitch. You could have brought out like Morgan Hampton with a Static cover. You could have did anything, but y'all chose to say nothing. So it very much is y'all have had time. I first made my 1,000 days video back in December. The average lifespan of cooking up a book is 6 to 8 months, 6 to 10 months. Y'all could easily have solicited a book right now. Jonah Hex was announced in November, October at New York Comic Con, and we haven't seen that book solicited yet. But y'all can't announce a black book. So like it's to the point now where it's like, now we're in phase 2. Now we are in boycott mode, and now it's like, are people going to vote with their dollar or not?
So what are you asking people to do?
To call their local comic book store and like take all DC books off their pull list. It's very obvious that DC does not value our dollar, so it's time to actually vote with our dollar and go elsewhere. There are plenty of great black indie books that you can support. Heck, there are great just like other indie books that you can support. I'm one of the few people that will swear up and down on James Tynion, because he make like James Tynion flat out. I say this as someone who has a tattoo because of it, because that James Tynion and Tate Brumble, the guy who actually is writing Titans right now, has written one of the blackest, gayest books of all time with House of Slaughter, where it tells the most authentic queer black story in comic books, and yet almost no one knows about it because everyone like clowns on indie books. House of Slaughter and Something's Killing the Children is one of the best indie books of all time, and yet no one pays attention to it because they're like, nah, I need my Batman, I need my Superman, my Spider-Man, whatever. It's like, no, you can go elsewhere for good content, especially if they do not value your dollar.
Chill, sound like he talking directly to you, bro.
I've been pulling my dollars from Marvel, not DC, but Marvel specifically. I care about 2 characters that they got there. 2 characters.
What I'm talking about, Chill. That ain't what I'm talking about. You only believe in mainstream comics when it comes to black.
Why is that?
Time out. I only.
But the jumpy.
Why is that? Ooh, Voodoo Ranger, my man. You drinking good beer. Good looking.
Yes, sir.
He asked you a question, Chill. Why is that?
Yeah, why is that, Chill? Why you only believe in the big 2? What's up with that?
Why did we just accept a blue statement for truth? I only believe in mainstream.
That's an elder right there. I take elders very seriously. Like I'm brand new, but like man looks very educated. So
that's how he gets you. I only believe in mainstream. Like I've never bought an indie, or I don't. I didn't say you didn't
buy it, but you don't advocate. You don't advocate, Chill.
I've got videos. I've got videos interviewing. They may not perform. Oh, look, hold on. My independent stuff may not perform as well as the big 2 stuff, and they don't. That's not a reflection on me. That's a reflection on the audience not clicking on my videos, but I have. And Black Panther and Storm are the most 2 enacted. What are you putting up right now, JP?
Put up a bitter
one of the greatest indie books of all time. The Truth. One of the greatest books of all time. Eisner winning book from Chuck Brown, David F. Walker, and Sanford Green. So here's what I say to that. As someone who's been a content creator, a journalist, has done gaming and comic book content. sometimes you have to fight the algorithm. What I mean by that is I had a conversation with a comic book store owner up in New York. I interviewed him on my podcast, and he was saying everyone making the new comic book day videos was influencing people coming into the store and buying different books. So I said, I bet. And I issued a challenge to some of my mutuals on TikTok and was like, hey, why don't you like make sure there's an indie book in every pull list you drop, every new comic book day video you drop? And there was smaller creators, bigger creators who started having whole days dedicated to doing spotlights to indie books. And they started to gain traction. Heck, just because I finally said enough was enough and started to pimp books from Ignition and from Vault, I've had conversations with Ignition and Vault, because sometimes you have to be able to say, like, I'm tired of the cape shit and I want to have a conversation with folks who want to actually like value my time and my energy. And like I had a great conversation this past week with Dan Crary, the director of sales at Ignition, and even though it was founded by white men, they are avidly trying to get books in the hands of people of color. Dan told me he has been reaching out to Barnes and Nobles in predominantly black areas that don't have comic shops. That way they can get Roots of Madness into those Barnes and Nobles. That way people have access to them, or even to the libraries, because they want to make sure that black kids have other comics to read. So there's other places that you can go to give your dollar that value you.
You reading Just Brutal from Ignition Press?
Yes. Hopeless. Dennis Hopeless has been telling a very good story there. I very much enjoy that series. It's actually sitting behind me down here. I need to bag and board my book still.
Blue, you made him pull out his indie card. He had to mention one of the indies he read, and just
you caught that, right?
Clarify it. So he made him pull.
I mean, I got a plenty on my shelf here. I got Wasted Space from Vault. I got Philadelphia. I got plenty of great books over here. I can educate folks about.
Nah, I be watching JP stuff. I know he bought it. I'm talking about Chill. I ain't worried about JP. I know he bought it. I'm talking about Chill.
Never spent $1 on Philadelphia. Me, never, not a single dollar.
I think he was more so referencing your stance on uplifting the characters that people already know versus the ones with potential. And so we can kind of fall into that with anybody. Like with
you don't gotta
DC,
tell me what
Marvel.
you think he means.
All right, my bad, bro. I'm trying to keep the peace. My bad.
I mean, like he's corroborating what he said. So like it seems like dude's on the money with that.
I think Black Panther and Storm are incredible characters and the best position to enact the change I'm looking for. And that's why I will support those two. Don't care for Night Thrasher, Ghost Light. You picked a random character outside of. But I'm gonna keep.
Why you hate on Night Thrasher so much?
Back to DC was so white.
Be from Night Thrasher.
It's just that they're never gonna do anything with him, and I never will believe it. But with DC, I do think Marquise Draper's over there getting some work done, which even though you're DC so white and everything, you're not shitting on Marquise Draper.
Most definitely no. I've been saying for the longest time that Marquise Draper has been like in the trenches for us. He's been one of the only people. He's the only black editor at DC. He's the one person that's been out here fighting for us, and he genuinely has tried. I think there has been times that there has been a false portrayal that black fans have failed Marquise in his efforts, even though in reality DC failed in when it comes to things. Because last year with the Power Company, it was very obvious that they were trying to make a push with the Power Company, and yet even though they reached out to folks like Blur Without Fear or different content creators, was like, hey, here's this book. Some people didn't get the Power Company until after the book that came out. Like BJ Kicks was reached out to, and they straight up, and like they didn't get him his free copy to like pimp out until after it had come out. But thankfully he had bought it on his pull list, so he was able to review it and talk about it. So it's like that's what it kind of goes back to the Dakota incident situation where DC is failing black creators and black characters because they're not promoting these books on the same level as the white characters. Full stop. Because even the idea that Joe Illidge had to pay for his own trailer for the Dakota incident and DC didn't share it not one time, huh? Like, do you hear the logic behind that? When you're telling your people that this is the last chance that Milestone has to ever be on a store shelf and it has to do well, but then you don't promote that thing whatsoever?
Yeah, but the DC account didn't, but like Scott Snyder's account did, right?
I would have to look into that.
No, Jim Lee, he was the one who retweeted.
I don't ever see Jim Lee doing anything.
Nah, but one of the other editors who was working at DC who was like, "Oh, okay, thanks, Joe Illidge." Someone at DC did, right? No.
If it wasn't Marquise, I didn't see no one else doing it.
Almost as if they wanted to fail.
hollow.
Like
if they did it, it was hollow.
I don't want to put nobody's like idea of, because there's been I've been asked several times the past few weeks. They're like, do you think DC is racist? I'm like, no. I think there is a risk aversion idea behind them, but my issue with them having a risk averse mindset is, how can you say a black character like Vixen, a character who's never had an ongoing, is risk averse when like how can you say that she's risk averse when you haven't even tried? How can you say something's risk averse when everything that you're saying about these black characters is the deck stacked against them, because you're not promoting them? You don't accept digital. Hell, every brother on this cast can verify this. If you walk into a Barnes and Noble as a kid and your mama sees a single issue that is $6 versus a trade paperback with 6 issues in it, that's $20. What is your mama going to choose because it has the more worthwhile purchase behind it? The trade. So if the book can't even get the trade before it's canceled, how is like the little kid, little TJ, like little Dwayne, whoever, like how are they gonna get their hands on this book if they can't even get it to last more than 6 to 12 issues? That's the problem that I have. But that's one of the main things I talked about in the article, in my different podcast episodes, in the video. It's very much like, look, if y'all can't even get this in front of people, how can you say that it failed? How can you say that it's risk averse?
And that's what I've been telling Chill. Night Thrasher.
Thank you. Especially with the next level being exactly what was that risk adverse titles that we're going to give a chance to. Cool. How about some Vixen? Maybe a Terrific, maybe, but Static shouldn't be Yeah, he said TJ. I thought the same thing when he said TJ. I'm like, no.
No. It was like I have a nephew named TJ, so it popped in my head. But like the idea behind it was like, I believe in what Joe Illich told me like months ago on my show, where he says that Static is $1 billion franchise. And yet, to sit here and act as if that $1 billion franchise has to come back and start out on a teen book is laughable. It is disrespectful in every way. I would go so far as to say it disrespects Dwayne McDuffie's memory to say that boy has to be on a team first before he can have his own book.
You mean New Titans being the team? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
But he's got Static season 1, he's got Static season 2, and the sales didn't. If the sales were great, I don't have the exact data because it was posted Diamond. But if the sales were great, I believe there'd be a season 3 and a season 4.
So here's my response to that, because what caused me to actually do the research and start having the 1,000 Days conversation was I came off really hot back in October, November, when Nicholas Draper Ivy announced Batman Static Beyond, because I was much like yourself in what you just said, where I saw season 1 in Shadows of Dakota fail. So I was mad at the community. I said, black folks don't care about Static. Now, some people, if you go look at the original Twitter post, there was a lot of brothers and sisters who said, you're right, we don't want to read, we want a TV or a movie. And that was real ignorant of them. But at the same time, there was a lot of people in those replies that said, we didn't even know that had came out. And y'all know just as I do, we're very plugged in to the conversations of solicitations of social media following these different individuals. But I remember back when Milestone Returns was happening, I remember Vita Ayala, Brandon Thomas, Reggie Hudlin begging on Twitter for people to go pre-order, begging, because DC was not actually promoting these books. DC was not promoting them in the way they should. Like, this is gonna sound really weird, but like, ride with me. You know, the same way when Black Label came out and they showed Batman's junk, so Jim Lee had to get trotted out onto the Jimmy Kimmel show. There's no reason. The same way that Trick Williams was able to go on to the Breakfast Club recently with WWE, there's no reason why a Stephanie Williams, a Morgan Hampton, a Jamal Campbell, if he did the art for us or for a Static book, whatever, shouldn't be having a conversation with Charlemagne right now if they're going to launch a Static book. Like he runs AWA. Like, there's no reason why. Like, these different, like it's the same way back when Sam Wilson became Captain America originally, where they had those conversations in black media, where Jane Foster premiered on The View Like they had these different ways of reaching out into the public, into the casual market and saying, hey, this is happening. If you told every little black kid on some public access or told their parents on some other way that Static Shock was coming back in a comic book that you could go pick up at your local comic book store, people would go nuts. But they don't think about that. They're stuck in this solicitation, one social media post, put it out. Yeah. Oh, it failed. Have a good day. They're not thinking. Yeah. Yes, the marketing is not where it should be. So that's the biggest issue at hand. Like, there's no reason why, like, all these different like black girl nerd spotlighted the boycott today. Why aren't you reaching out to them? Heck, I was interviewed by Black Girl Nerds 2 weeks ago. And she was shocked to learn that Black Lightning didn't have an ongoing series while he was on TV. He had a 6-issue mini, and that was it. Why? Like the entire time? He had a 6-issue mini.
What year was that? I want to look at
2017.
I think they brought the Outsiders back, right?
Yeah, they had a Hill on Batman and the Outsiders. Hold on, hold that hands. Black Lightning. That if issue 1 came out in we'll see how fast I can pull this off because I'm really awesome. 2018, it came out in January. That's cover date, November 1st. So I need to go to Comic-Con 2017.
You can beat me to it.
Monthly sales. I used to like love pulling sales numbers to check people. It's my favorite thing. November.
It's more. I like it more than you like it.
So Cold Dead Hands premiered at 116 with 18,000 copies. So that's better than some books that came out around that time. There was like Iron Fist, there was Jean Grey, and hell, it did better than Falcon, which Falcon was written by Rodney Barnes around the time. So Jessica Jones was only 1,000 issues more. Batwoman is around the same numbers. So if Black Lightning.
Check out issue 2. The sales dropped all the way down to 10,000 units. Like no one was pre-ordering the book. That's cancellation territory.
Mm-hmm. So that tells me that either they weren't promoting it after the fact. And one thing that I also think about a lot is that there's always hype for the issue 1. Why isn't there more hype for issue 2 or issue 3? Like, why are we not trying to keep momentum going? Why is there always this giant push for issue 1s? And then they don't care. Like it goes back to what Dan Slott was talking about on a podcast recently when it comes to Marvel and DC, where there's always this hype for the issue 1 because you get the variant covers, you get the gimmicks and whatnot, but then you see the slump, and then it's like, ooh, that's a danger. And thankfully, like this was slated for a 6-issue mini. It wasn't said to get more, but it's this idea that you left it there to die. You didn't help Jenny promote it. You didn't help Jenny get interviews. Hell, I reached out to Jenny on Twitter and had a conversation with her on Skype, but Jenny wasn't being reached out to by any major publications around that time. So it's like a similar conversation can be had about Batman Static Beyond from last year. DC didn't reach out to me to have a conversation with Evan Narcissus or Nicholas Draper Ivy. I did. I reached out to those creators. I didn't even go to DC. I was like, hey, can I have a conversation with y'all? And that's how I scored that, because DC wasn't reaching out to Black creators. DC didn't have a conversation with anybody. I did.
So they don't have a heart. How will they react to this boycott? They're going to say, well, there's only 8,000 people reading Black Lightning. And let's just say we lose all 8,000. Ooh, like Scott Hall fingers. Do you think they care?
So I don't think they're going to care, but I think the idea is like, press is still a thing. Like the idea of this being in the conversation is still a thing. Like even if the boycott doesn't like result in crazy numbers by any means, we still started a conversation. And there's been a lot of people that have been very dissenting of the arguments because of Absolute Green Lantern. And it's like there's been a lot of people who have been like, yo, I want an Absolute Black Lightning book or Absolute Static or Absolute Mr. Terrific. And I'm sitting here like, that's not going to fix the problem with the fact that none of these characters have ongoings and mainline continuity, right? Like, that's not going to like boost them in any major way, right? Like, heck, I love Al Ewing to death, but like I say Al Ewing is the Greg Rucka of Black people. I say it all the time. But the problem with Absolute Green Lantern is that it's telling more so a group story as well as more of a queer woman story more than a black woman story. So that's the core issue, is that even if you make absolute Black Lightning, Static, whatever, Vixen, whatever, how much do you think DC is going to allow them to dive into serious, dark, twisted topics with black culture the same way they let absolute Batman go off and absolute Wonder Woman go off? I don't think they're going to. So why don't we actually tell the stories we're allowed to tell in mainline and not play the what if game with Absolute? Because hypothetical, what if Absolute just falls off in a couple of years and everyone gets bored, right, and then they go back to regular Batman? What you gonna do then? Like at that point, we're still at what? At that point, 2,000, 3,000 days. And y'all were so adamant about loving Absolute Green Lantern. Oh, it's canceled now. Everyone got bored. Hell, and all the people who are saying they love Absolute Green Lantern are like, when they play the whataboutism game with Absolute Green Lantern, are you actually reading Absolute Green Lantern? Because the sales ain't looking pretty good from what I'm hearing. Apparently, it's like in last place. So apparently, you ain't supporting it like I've been, because I can show you my copies. They're sitting in the long box. Can you show me yours? I don't think you can. So it's a matter of people saying that they played the whataboutism game with Absolute Green Lantern or Absolute Catwoman recently, and they're like, "Oh well, we have this. Why can't you be happy with this?" I'm like, I'm not comfortable with scraps. Dwayne McDuffie wouldn't have been comfortable with scraps. So why the hell should we sit down and be cool with scraps? When I saw Static on a Titans book, and what's so frustrating is someone tried to tell me, "Oh, if we buy Titans, that means we'll get a Static book." Brother, I've been pulling Titans for months. I've been pulling Titans ever since I came back to pulling comic books last year in October. So how you gonna tell me that me buying this book because I'm a Titans fan means that Static's gonna get a book? Because what if I'm just buying the book because I like Nightwing's ass? What if I'm just pulling the book? What if I'm pulling the book because I'm a Yara Flor fan or a Stephanie Brown fan? Just because a few brothers hop on for the Static issues doesn't mean they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, this means they want a Static book, guys." How about the Dakota incident shows people that they want milestone content?
I'd say that the Static book is gonna make Milestone, rather Titans fans resonate with a Milestone character, and then when the book of Static's ongoing series does come out, there's gonna be people who like, I've been reading him for the last few months on New Titans. I'm gonna go pick up the Static book. So it's finding comic book.
Come though. It's got to come.
There's a long-term plan, but I believe in what Marquise Draper was doing. I think that's the long-term plan. And
I want to go back
with him
to the point that y'all was making about the number, the issue ones and the variants and stuff. I think that I don't think they treat the books like art anymore. They're not collectibles anymore. With them not being collectible, now they just treat them like content. And we are in the content game. That's what we are forced to intake. We're on YouTube right now, Instagram, Twitter. So they treat the issues like content. And with them dropping those number ones, the variants and stuff like that, they get all the money off the one, and then they don't care about the rest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because then if we make it to the trade, I make a little bit of money off the trade, I'll start a new number one. And guess what that'll do? You're going to show up and buy the new number one.
Wait, hold on. Put that back up. I didn't see that. What man, stop that. Man, that's crazy.
But that's how I look at it. I look at the number one as content. That's
I would push back and say that it's still a collectible game because the number one still do big numbers in places. Like Absolute Batman number one is a $200-$300 book right now.
Yeah.
Or like every Amazing Spider-Man variant with J. Scott Campbell on it is gonna make somebody go run and grab that. Yeah, so it's like somebody's gonna like a number one at some point. But it's a matter of like, what are you doing for that number 7, that number 8? That's what Slot was saying. I like if people gave me pushback for agreeing with Slot, and like you can have whatever beef you want with the man, but like a broken clock can be right. Like, more than once. Like even if you think Slot is the worst person in the world, like to quote Eddie Griffin, who cares who the messenger is? Did you get the message? Like that. That's the issue at hand.
I saw that comedy special too. So that's a lot of money you're going to be saving by not giving DC any money. So what I did is I went to the Black Comic Lords' League of Comic Geeks pull list, and I was looking at, okay, what am I going to give my money to in August? Like, what could I do to support? And I just saw this book called Site Number 1, and I'm like, maybe Site Number 1 will be in my sight, and I'll be like pulling this book. Final Order cut off on June 29th. Maybe this will be the series that's gonna like jump up and like. But to you, JP, where are you directing specifically? I know there's probably like a million answers to the question, but like which book is like, yo, everyone, for sure, pull this book. I'm not saying don't pull any others, but pull this book. This is the book that's got a chart.
So for me, the biggest conversation that I'm having right now that I want people to be focused on is Concrete Comics. Concrete Comics just had Soul the Sovereign hit comic shops recently. I funded the Kickstarter, so my rewards will be coming separately. But these folks have been
talking about Soul the Sovereign, that when the Kickstarter came out, me and Darius highlighted on a stream a few months ago. That one, right, Blue?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so like Concrete Comics, like shout out to them. Like Lonzo is amazing. Like they have been pumping out content for a long time. Like they have a brand new book coming out called Primate. Like they have been putting in work to actually give you good content. If you want to support like indie books, there's a whole company ready to have your dollar. So why not go holler at them? Why not like give your money? Or better yet, there's Ignition Press. Ignition Press is where Stephanie Williams put Roots of Madness. You can still buy Roots of Madness off their website or have your local comic book shop get it. She has more stuff in the works. If you or listen to my interview with her, she has more stuff in the works with them for next year. But also they have brand new titles coming out, like what you're talking about from Dennis Hopeless over there right now. Like you have all these creators who are having doors open. I've been saying for the longest time, you could go read books from Mad Cave Studios because Mad Cave's been putting out great content.
Mad Cave has been putting out good stuff.
Oh, most definitely. Heck, like they have Speed Racer, they have different things like that. Dynamite just got Ben 10. There's plenty of different series you can have put out. What was it? Like one book from Image that just came across my desk was Tigress Island, like that you can go read right now. Is got a bunch of dope variant covers. There's a brand new series that I just saw that is coming out. Actually, no. Ignition has a brand new #1 coming out called Bad Thoughts. But they also had another book come out just this past 2 weeks ago called Innards from the writer of Farmhand from Image Comics that you can go pick up. So there's plenty of great books that you can be picking up that give you brand new jumping on points. Like one of the biggest complaints that everyone always has is, where do I start with Batman? Or where do I start with this character? Yada, yada. Here's a brand new #1. You don't need no context. Go read it. Like there's plenty of great books that you could jump in right now and go give your dollar to.
But like Black owned, so Bad Thoughts. Unless something's wrong with my computer screen, I don't see the melanin on these dudes' face. But you said Roots of Madness from
Roots of Madness from Stephanie Williams and Ignition Press.
So that's a really trade book. That's a trade paperback that is due to release in September 22. It's still not solicited, I don't think, for the to get the trade, but you can tell your comic book shop about it.
But then there's also Innards from Ignition Press that just came out, and like Innards has been really good from Rob Guillory. Rob Guillory does have some melanin. He was the guy behind Farmhand over at Image Press. He's worked on Shoe.
So I got my answer. I'm sorry to cut you off. Keep going. Talk about Rob Guillory.
Like dude has been putting out content for a long time and deserves your support. So that is a brand new series that you could pick up.
That's absolutely what I'll do, and I get to show that the dollars are going somewhere to Innards issue 3. This is an ongoing, or is it going to be a limited series?
So I believe it's a limited series right now, but I know there's more stuff in the works. But the goal is going to be to keep like different things open. I know Wiseacre has City of Demons #3 coming out. I think that came out this week. City of Demons #3 came out at your local comic book shop this week. Wiseacre has been putting out some pretty good content for a hot minute that you could go support. They have Magnus Jakarta that's been going on as well. So that they definitely got some melanin going on. Hell, the writer of Magnus Jakarta, Devin Arsky, he is the editor-in-chief of Summit Comics. Summit Comics is where like I'm trying to get everybody put on game with right now, because they just had a Kickstarter for like their brand new like hardcover jumping on point for everybody. Summit Comics is trying to actually give you diversity in the forefront where everyone gets focused. Like it isn't just going to be we start with white people and then we'll give a little bit to everybody else. No, that they're putting diversity in the forefront. You got a brother running your studio. Like that is literally what I'm trying to put people on game for. Like if you keep looking at their Kickstarters, they're trying to put books in stores. Like Summit Comics is my next like brainchild that I'm about to get more people hooked on game towards, because they genuinely have us in mind. I had a conversation with one of their colorists, and he genuinely was like, we purposely made sure we had Spanish characters and Black characters in the forefront because we wanted to make sure we stood out and we actually cared about individuals, because we have people of color working behind the scenes on these books. And I was like, you got my dollar. Like, I'm here.
Cool.
All right, so DC somehow gets the call. They're like, hey, JP, where would you start? What character you picking up? Who you giving to?
Black Lightning,
Oh.
because it's his 50th anniversary.
Yes, hands down. Like there are 4 characters that need books
Thanks,
ASAP.
extra JP.
Well, no, he's not wrong. Like that's literally what my answer is. Like like January is Black Lightning's 50th anniversary, and that brother's only had 41 single issues in 50 years. How is that possible? So we would start with Black Lightning.
White.
Vixen needs to have a book ASAP because I keep trying to tell everybody that Vixen could literally be the Storm of the DC universe. You take Animal Man out of being the Avatar of the Red and let Mari be the Avatar of the Red. You let her be the metaphor doesn't work anymore because Tyra's been found to be problematic. But like in terms of the impact, the Tyra Banks, the Beyonce, like the focal point of fashion in the DC universe could be Mari McCabe. You see Bruce Wayne walk into a meeting, he's got a little totem on his lapel. You have little things like that to show that fashion is in every corner of the DC universe. Like you literally have the perfect tool with Vixen right there, and you're sleeping on it, and it makes no sense. Hell, I remember back when Bruce and Selena were gonna get married, they were like wanting to have a life-size version of her wedding dress made for Fashion Week, and it's like, do you know how many variant covers you could hire from Black women artists to just design cool, like instead of the Hellfire Gala, like how Marvel did, have the Wayne Gala or the League Gala or something like that, and have Black women artists brought in, or just Black artists period come in, and have different variant covers where like Dick and Babs get a cover, but it's drawn by a Black person, and have them be fitted up for the gala, or things like that. You have different things like that to show that you're putting all this energy into Vixen #1 with all these different variant covers. It's that easy. Go ahead.
How aligned is DC to the current administration? Because I think a lot of that might be because businesses don't think about. I don't want to say they don't think about color, they do, but that green color, and if they can't get the funding from, or if the administration is messing up said funding or the way the money is moving, they're gonna go the way of the money.
Here's what I'll say this. I can't speak on a lot of things because I know some things from behind the scenes, but there is a little bit of a freeze going on right now because of the Paramount thing. But I can tell you, based off of previous outings, it ain't like it used to be. I'll say that. It ain't like it used to be where things were problematic, but things are better than what they used to be, to where if the change was going to happen, it would be now before things get out of control. Like, this is the time to steer the ship before the steer, like the ability to steer gets taken away from you. That's what I would say.
It's an opportunity, is what you're saying. Like it's a
yes,
got a window.
Yes, very much so.
I can see the counter reaching 1,300 days, but I don't know if it reaches that 1,400 days. I think by then, so what would that be? That would be the solicits for September, October, November. Probably by December, you'll get that static book or whoever they choose.
Here's my biggest fear right now is that they're going to be real slick and wait till to have it be December and then have it be February solicitations,
right? And
drop that in Black History Month. And I'm going to sit here and be like, really? like of all the things,
a win is a win.
Like a win is a win, but like you waited a whole calendar year to have Static be in his own book, a whole calendar year. Really? Like if that's the case, like something's gonna like Edwin Galman had that brother looking real clean with that fade in his hair. You telling me he had to wait with that crispy fade that whole time just to get his own title? Like something like that would be diabolical. I'm sorry.
We good? DC So White, DC Blackout, JP, where can they follow you?
I'm gonna say you can follow me everywhere on social media, J Penumbra, like super easy. Like you can like have it tagged, whatever. Like I'm easy to find. Comics Unmasked is my podcast where I interview different creators. I have a episode dropping tomorrow. I gotta actually record the intro tonight or tomorrow morning. I have a episode dropping where I interviewed the writers and artists of Noir is the New Black, which is up for an Eisner right now for Best Anthology. So that was Joe Illidge, Chris Cross, Quinn McGowan and Greg Burnham. Greg Burnham from Tuskegee Airs. So like that is all. I had the whole group on my show to talk about that. So that'll be dropping tomorrow.
Ooh.
But no, I'm very thankful for the opportunity to talk to you guys.
Thank you for coming.
Appreciate you coming on, man.
No problem.
Sure.
Recast T'Challa.
We'll talk about that later. I have thoughts. We'll talk about that later.
No, are you T'Challa's acceptor? Are you gonna like?
So
I love the acceptor.
I'm not a child. I'm not a child acceptor. I'm not a child acceptor. I'm not a child acceptor. But I pity the man who has to make the decision behind T'Challa. Like that's where I'll say that because I've said this to multiple times on social media. Because
that shit ASAP.
No, because here's the thing. Like there's a lot of people who think the whole situation with T'Challa is easy because grief is a motherfucker. Yeah. And people like to say that like they think they would have had the best call to make, but you have two guns loaded at your head. You have the grieving people who think that you did wrong by Chad and but at the same time you had a golden opportunity to put Shuri up and have Shuri have a little bit of progress and have her own narratives and whatnot for a little bit of time. And then Secret Wars is coming. So at some point you're going to hit the reset button and you can bring somebody else in to call it a day. Or
you give Feige too much credit, brother.
Or you take the risk of recasting and deal with the backlash behind that. You deal with that that situation. But so it very much is a compromising situation where I don't have the right answer because as Benny the comic historian used to say, I'm here for the good plot and I like a good story regardless as long as everyone's being respected to the best of their abilities. So as long as we are moving in good intentions, I think we're fine. The only thing I don't like is Tucson. I'm not the biggest fan of Tucson. I think that's very much a stretch. I think if Chad would have been here and they did the original version of that plot, maybe it would have did a little bit better. But Nakia's not around in the comics for a reason. Priest put her to bed as a villain a long time ago. So I still haven't been a really big fan of this allyship of every villain T'Challa's ever had because we viewed it as problematic. Like, oh, we don't want to talk about M'Baku being a monkey representative. So we're just going to make him an ally and make him goofy with all demon quirks and yada, yada. But so I still say that M'Baku could have been the coldest villain ever if he would have got more than that first 10 minutes. If he would have been one of the best villains to come back every couple years to be up in the mix. But then they were just like, you my brother now. I'm like, nah, man. It was a poor chance to execute on things. So I don't have the answer when it comes to things.
No, you You said you don't want the Tucson thing. You don't want I
don't want Tucson, but I would still take Shuri for 2-3 more years and then just activate Secret Wars. That's what I would say. I don't want Tucson, but I would rather take Shuri or a recast.
Well,
that's what I would say.
Shuri's actually a comic book character. Tucson is this thing that takes attention away from T'Challa, dilutes the word T'Challa.
Right. But there's still some recast people that don't like. There's still some recast people that don't like Shuri. So it's I feel myself very much caught in the mix where I'm like, look, I either give me a recast or you give me Shuri. I'm not the biggest fan of Tucson. That's where I'll leave that.
I think there's you talked about the grief of the situation. And I do think that there's a lot of emotions wrapped up into, obviously the character, the production, the cast members and stuff like that, and the reaction to their emotions around it. I think what I guess I was hopeful for in all of that is that there's somebody that has not just the business, but the welfare of the IP at the forefront. Right. And I get that's hard to do when you're that close to it in certain instances. I can't be completely convinced that there's nobody in the entire Marvel umbrella that didn't have that, that type of okay, right, guys, I get it. But hey, listen, this is more of a permanent move that we're making right now. This has, far stretching implications on this IP that go beyond how we may be feeling today. And so you gotta weigh things hand in hand, right? Grief is always going to be there, and it's not something that's going to be healed by what we do in this movie regardless. What is the best thing? What's the best decision to make, not just for Black Panther, but this audience and everyone that we were able to serve in 2018 when people went busloads. They went to go see this movie 6-7 times.
Oh, for sure.
We can see the direct comparison from Black Panther 2018 to Wakanda Forever, even with the aftermath of Chad's passing and the motivation for people to go out and celebrate and try to promote that next movie. There was a sizable downgrade in terms of what you got in enthusiasm in box office. So seeing from that perspective and kind of always knowing from the jump, like sidelining the franchise's titular character is that can cause long-term damage to an IP. I would
most definitely
somebody in there that would have that thoughts while we're also wearing the grief.
Right, but like I also think that like sometimes I was asked this question a while back when I also brought up the idea of recasting. I think I was talking to my stepdad about this, where he was like, how do you think people would have taken like knock on wood, I don't want to like doom him, but like imagine Chris Evans passing after Winter Soldier and having that conversation, or like RDJ after the first Avengers movie and having that conversation. Like there's multiple different conversations to be had about this. I know there's some people who think there's a giant conspiracy theory about like diminishing the quality of a black man in the eyes of a multi-billion-dollar corporation. And I had thoughts on that as well, but it's the idea of iconography, because like we can all make jokes about like Banner being swapped out or Terrence Howard getting pieced out. Like there's certain like jokes we can make about that, have that conversation. But I would still say I'd have the same conversation and say I pity the executive that has to have the idea of we have to replace Chris Evans because he had an accident after Winter Soldier.
But do you think that conversation would have led them to, okay, Chris Evans is no longer here, let's get Natalie Portman ready for the suit and let's go straight to Jane? Do you think that it would have been that seamless of a
Chris Hemsworth
transition? Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. My bad. Peggy.
I say, here's what I actually haven't thought about that. I think, like, in terms of, like, not Peggy, I think, given how successful Winter Soldier was, they would have fast-tracked Sebastian Stan into a metallic-looking Captain
America. I have a hard time believing that, man. I have a hard time believing that they wouldn't have just found another Captain America and did all the pomp and circumstance. And, we're very sad. And obviously, we miss Chris. But Captain America is Captain America. Yeah, Captain America is Captain America.
You know what, Plant Poppy? Good point here, Derek Bozeman. If anyone's gonna
like Derek did say what he did, and like I had a thought about that as well, because and like this is my like tinfoil hat theory, so like bear with me, because what Derek said has weight, and that's why I was very careful of how I phrased that. Derek said that like there's always this idea of like trying to diminish a black king in terms of Hollywood, but I feel like before Sinners specifically, I don't know if he'll be able to like be in a contract or ever say anything about this to this day. I feel like a lot of people have villainized Coogler more than we actually need to be to this day, because my harebrained idea is that a black man trying to get anywhere in Hollywood, especially in like executive Hollywood circles, there's gonna be some things that are just made to be on your shoulders, because like they took advantage of Bo DeMayo and kicked him out the drive because he was black and queer. Imagine what they're doing with the idea of trying to uplift a black man with that level of you're a king, or like you are a kingmaker and a director like Coogler. So what if not only are they trying to diminish T'Challa, but they're leaving the blame on Coogler? That way his credibility is drawn into question. That's my harebrained idea.
And I won't totally rule that out. Number one, if that's the case, Nate Moore did a terrible job at selling it, because with every statement he made himself the issue.
Right.
With every time he talked, he made himself the bad guy.
But I do believe those executives was the issue. But
can I say something?
Oh,
go for it.
I didn't want to.
Real quiet.
Well, my camera is blurry to the viewers, and it's really irritating. So this whole time I've been trying, and it's so anyway. I didn't really want to talk because of that, but I feel like in this 5 years, going back to the recast part, I feel like in this 5 years, Marvel has given us, the audience, especially for those of us that are willing to, that have really been on this recast train, that have been on, the whole that have been here, really shown us all, really though. that they really don't care about T'Challa. I'm sorry. I know that other people may be viewing it differently. In 5 years, they've given us not one thing that not one iota that indicates that, hey, we care about this character. We've had to ask Ryan Coogler now in I think 3 different projects, hey, can this character show up, where they've said no, and they've killed him again. They killed him in Zombies.
That's what I was going to get to.
He was absent from Eyes of Wakanda, which they told us that before. They
right. It's a prequel thing. It's meant to be like that.
Prequel thing. What was the X-Men 97?
Oh, but he's in the video game.
T'Chaka was pierced with Jubilee and others like that. So I think there was an issue. There's an issue. I think also too. I think there's a lot of people are not willing to look at what Chad says. And when I say people, I'm talking about the people I've had conversations with that are against the recast on Twitter, that have said, oh, when that comes into play, what Chad actually said. And it's not just us that are saying this. More recently, the guy that works on X-Men 97 showrunner, he even brought it up in his interview. He said, I believe Chadwick Boseman even said what he would have wanted was to continue on with T'Challa and pass the baton because he understood the importance of the character, blah, 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 blah. Right. To where he said, but the studio made their decision and we have to go with what the studio decided. So I just think there's a lot of evidence that points to a bigger deal here with T'Challa, and I think one of the big things is that black character, him being the a king. King
it definitely draws more into question, most definitely. And like I take back to what I was saying about Bodemeo, because like he even said that Feige was jealous of the success of X-Men 97, where like there was no funding for an after party, that Bo had to put the money up for himself. So I could easily see Feige or an executive at Marvel framing it and trying to say, oh no, that Ryan said you couldn't use T'Challa. You got to use T'Chaka. Ryan said that. It's that really easy way of trying to put the blame somewhere else, and blame the grief, blame the issue there, because then you're taking it away from the white man being the villain and trying to say, hey, we would love to like visit that idea, but like Chad and his like Chad's family is grieving, or Ryan and all of them are grieving, so we're not going to humor that idea. So
I like that you brought that up.
I'm not just blaming Ryan. My blame goes to Kevin and Bob as well.
I like that you brought up the point that they kept bringing up his family, almost as like a shield for criticism. Like, don't come at us. They sat over here. Because they do the same thing with the cast and crew. It's like, hey, we're dealing with this, we're dealing with that, and in the immediate aftermath, you couldn't do anything but accept it, right? I never met Chadwick Boseman. I didn't work with him for 3 months straight shooting a movie. Who am I to say?
3 months straight.
Going forward, though, you start putting time and distance, and then again, you don't get to dictate how long grief lasts, but when you don't see a break from that dogma, right? You don't see any evolution in the messaging. Like, all right, we're at a point now where we can think a little bit more pragmatically about the future of the character. It was still, we can only write what we were able to write. Some people are going to be upset, and maybe, which is the wildest thing I could ever think of you saying when you're promoting a movie. Some people aren't going to like it, but we could only make the movie that we can make. It seems like it's not so much that there's an impediment to you doing what you probably should do. It's more so of you're set in the stance that you're setting and you're not moving on the square.
Like there's a directive behind it.
Exactly. And so when I'm thinking about Coogler and all of this, and whether or not I would throw him the bail from, the ultimate decision on whether to recast or not, I guess I would be looking to hear a louder protest. And if it's not just straight up, hey, Marvel made me do it, it's, hey, guys, it's more complicated than you think it is. Because he has also taken on himself in interviews and in podcasts the responsibility of whether or not they were going to recast.
Right.
Everybody else kind of speaks about it a little bit more collaborative.
Right.
He is taking on the responsibility on his own shoulders. It's hard for me to disconnect that totally.
Right, that makes perfect sense. Yeah, I have a thought. Like, actually, I'll even throw it to a personal bone. Tomorrow is the 1 year anniversary of my father's passing, and along that entire process, I appreciate it. Along with that entire process, my brother took a lot of the responsibility of the funeral arrangements, everything of that nature. And because he was the junior to my father's senior, he took it very seriously. He didn't show any emotion. He very much like took care of business and handled everything. Like, there's something to be said about having to remain a certain way, and when it comes to toxic masculinity, but also like showing emotion or showing certain ways about yourself in public spaces or even in business. So, but then I also look at how Ryan was successful with Sinners, and I see how he had the freedom to do what he wanted to do with Sinners. And he had the clout to say, I own this in a few years, where he's saying that he's made the moves elsewhere, that he didn't make the moves with Marvel. Like he's made different steps that he would have did with them. So I think maybe you may end up being right one day and Ryan might end up being the crazy villain or something like that. I don't know. But something tells me there's a contract somewhere, or there's something on the dollar where certain things have to be a certain way. It's kind of like how prior to the first movie, y'all never saw motherfuckers doing this shit. I never saw people saying Wakanda forever like it was the new catchphrase of the week. Like there was the corporatization of Wakanda, I like to call it, where it became a certain way. They had to move a certain way to be able to be shown in a certain way. So not only is there the corporate side and the legal side of things, I could really see Ryan taking a lot of the responsibility of dealing with those conversations and having to navigate how to phrase certain things on his own, and then I think there's going to be an expose one day about how this man has so many bullets on his back that way he could shield others who don't deserve it. That's what I feel like there's going to be a crack in one day.
I want to say this too. I also, as I've evolved with recast of T'Challa and all that kind of stuff, I don't even put Ryan Coogler in a villain position. I put him in the rest of them that were in that room, Kevin Feige and whoever left it up to him to decide. As I put them in a lack of education category. I think as much as Ryan likes to get on here and say he knows the comics through and all this kind of stuff and all that, I don't think he really does. And maybe, I don't know the brothers. I don't know what he reads. I don't know. He says he has a chest of the comics. Maybe he does. But my thing about this is if you have that.
Oh, you muted yourself.
My fault. If you have that chest at your house and you've had these conversations with Chad himself, who has talked publicly and privately about the importance of this character, then why would you not continue on this character? You decided, from Nate Moore's words, within minutes, to get rid of a character that was, again, created by a white man in the height of the civil rights movement for Black representation. But you decided to go with the emotion. Now, I can't speak on what you and Chad's relationship was like, but what I can speak on is a business decision. The thing that I used to use early on when I used to talk about this was, if I were to lose a family member and my job would give me the grace of going to have my time to grieve at home or what have you. But when I come back to work, it is business. I'm expected to come back. I'm expected to sit at my desk. I'm expected to be productive. I'm expected to make this business money. So grieve. No one told you not to grieve, but also nobody told you to kill the character of the franchise.
Amen,
what
brother.
You could have done was T'Challa somewhere else. Shuri stepping in, but you decided to put the character 6 feet
anything
under.
other than
you could have just did what they did in the comics and have him disappear for a while.
You could have. There's so many. You could have
got him frozen somewhere.
Again,
but I mean, that was my argument.
Watched for 10 years a purple giant, a talking raccoon and tree. So don't tell me that you could not do anything with T'Challa. You could have done anything.
I like this guy.
T'Challa is like one of the only characters who I know who hasn't died in comics. Like, he might be the only one.
Like ever.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I will say, like, there's even a conversation to be had that I'm about to work on with somebody, because apparently it's like, today was like day 700 since T'Challa's had it ongoing. So, like, that's a whole other conversation that we need to have when it comes to the fact that T'Challa, like, and there's when I visit that conversation once the boycott gets a few more days down the road, there's something to be said about how the Black fan base was weaponized by Marvel and blamed for the lack of T'Challa ongoing, because They put John Ridley out there. They gave you John Ridley, an Oscar-winning writer, and they said, "Hey, sales are low. That means y'all don't want no more Black Panther, right? Oh, y'all still boycotting Eve Ewing's run. That means you don't want no more Black Panther, right?" They don't look at the social media the way they're supposed to. Like certain branches of Disney look at social media. That's why we lost Acolyte. Like they look at the reactions from the neckbeards and shit like that. But to Marvel, and it's kind of the argument with DC so white too, in terms of like what we were saying with DC, they see lack of sales with Black Lightning. And they say, "Oh, that means you don't want no more Black books, right? You don't want no more Black Lightning." Versus what happened with Flash the past 2 years, where you had Cy Spurrier, you had Wade, and now you're on Ryan North. You've gone through 3 creative writers in less than 2 years, and you've let Flash fail uphill. Versus with Black Lightning, as I had another shot, Vixen still ain't got a shot ever.
It's all about what they want to put their money at,
right? So it's this idea where Black fans are forced to buy out of obligation rather than actually being able to vote with their dollar and say, "We don't like the way this run is going." Because people were saying, "You need to go buy Intergalactic Black Panther if you want an ongoing," or "You need to go buy the 60th if you want to show like Marvel, you want an ongoing." Meanwhile, we're at day 700. So there's a conversation to be had with Marvel about the fact that you have one of your Oscar-winning properties that you don't want to give an ongoing, because what are you going to blame Chad being dead?
That's going to be the only solo franchise to get an Oscar, by the way.
Like Miles is there too, but like that's a whole.
Sony, but I got you.
Yeah, like Miles has an ongoing coming back. Like they keep playing the 42 game with him, but he's still getting an ongoing in August. So it's like, where's T'Challa? Like T'Challa should be a book that is immune from cancellation, because not only did it have crazy sales with the first movie, it's an Oscar-winning property. So there's no reason that it should be canceled. Plus, when you look at how there was almost character assassination of T'Challa for so long.
Not almost.
When it comes to the comics, because they really I have my complaints and my back and forth when it comes to the Coates run, but there's a certain way that, like, even though Hickman is hailed as like the best T'Challa writer as a white man, there's something to be said about how Hickman contributed to the downfall of T'Challa, where you had invasion from the X-Men, invasion from Thanos, rebellion from your own people in the Coates run. Now you done got ejected into space and shown that you yourself as a Black man are a colonizer. Then you have Ridley coming in and ruining your entire legacy and basically calling you Killmonger. Then
how could you know that stuff was down the line though? If you Hickman, if you're Coates or Ridley, okay, now it's time to start turning the car around.
Right,
but
right.
Hickman's just trying to write a dope story, I think.
Right, but it's like I'm not blaming Hickman per se. I'm blaming Marvel as a whole. Where like you kept letting T'Challa fall down the stairs, and nobody grabbed this man's collar and stopped him from falling down the stairs. So now we've basically had character assassination, and the only writer that tried to pick this man back up was Eve Ewing, because like I think Ewing's run is kind of decent. I'm not gonna lie to you. So it's like
I was reviewing it at the time. I loved it.
Yeah, so it's very much like they have weaponized the Black fan base and has said, "Hey, y'all just didn't, like, the sales were low. That means you don't want no more Black Panther, right? Y'all didn't sell out Amazon trades like you did with Coates' run, so y'all don't want no more Black Panther, right?"
To me, they didn't have a Black Panther room. You know what I'm saying? A section. They had like a Black Panther closet, if you get what I'm saying. Like, which means, you know, they had it off to the side. You walk past the broom closet. Maybe you look in there, maybe you don't. So nobody was in control of what was going on with the Black. To me, that shows, you bring up it being an Oscar award-winning franchise or IP, that they really didn't care about Black Panther from the start. That's what it shows.
Yeah. But we also have to remember from Joanna Robinson's book, she said that at the time, Chadwick Boseman, Tom Holland, and Brie Larson were supposed to be the next big three. So they cared enough at some time about T'Challa to put him in that big three position. So just, again, as we've said all before, just because Chadwick passes away does not mean you negate those plans. It just doesn't. It doesn't. Now, maybe you put somebody else in, that big three position because you send T'Challa off somewhere as you figure out your recast. But it does not then mean it's never meant that to me.
Because that's a good point. With them being the big three going forward, only one of those big three put up numbers. I mean, well,
I am going to
Outside
say
of Marvel,
this,
they put up
and I'm going to be
Carol
that.
did that because
It was the neck beards. The neck beards ruined Carol because, and I mean that in terms of the gooner white boys. Like, just so you know, I'm not trying to like degrade us, the thicker beard individuals. Like, I'm saying the living in your mama's basement, weird little dudes who got real upset that a woman was in a very militaristic superhero role where she wasn't a sex symbol, that she was standing on business and being powerful rather than being sexy. That's that because that's what happened with Comicsgate. Comicsgate saw Carol being more masculine presenting and being more militaristic and started calling her Carl Danvers instead of calling her Carol Danvers and wanted to clown her. Like, I very much want to shake Margaret Stoll's hand one day because the amount of hatred that poor white woman got for writing the Life of Captain Marvel around that time. So like for when it comes to Carol, like in that whole 3, Carol could have stayed and been powerful. Tom could stay and be powerful. All you needed to do was shift Shuri in there for a little bit, handle some business, like recast, and like you could even give Coogler the task of having to unpack Coates' colonization plot and have it actually be something worth telling, and visit that in a couple of years while Shuri's on Earth. You could easily do that, and yet y'all didn't even try. Like that's my beef. But I don't like. I will stand on 10 toes down that Tucson is not the move. But don't just throw Shuri to the wolves. Let her ride out her couple movies on an Avengers team, and then like reset the whole universe to start over. That's what I think.
Why?
That's expected. Sorry, go ahead, Blue.
Y'all keep bringing up that colonization. Why is that a bad thing?
A black man colonizing.
No, hold on. Wait. Hold on. Wait. An African.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are missing where Wakanda is at. Wakanda ain't in America. But
in terms of
black
the optics
thing about colonization,
right?
Africans
but like in terms of the optics
Africans all the time. I'm
right. Let me reframe it for you. A black man in a black IP, a black American IP, going into outer space to colonize other individuals looks real bad on paper to African Americans who aren't fully invested in the entire thing, like you just said. When you show other like casual black fans that T'Challa went to space and became a colonizer, when you just popularized the term colonizer, that looked kind of bad if you catch my drift.
It's one of them things where like you can't see how the sausage is made.
Yeah.
Right. Like the idea of Wakanda being an empire that stretches across the galaxies, dope. Love it. But then Coates is a very visceral writer, right? Like man who has written about civil rights here in America, has written about the Palestinian genocide over here in the Middle East. He's a very viscerally connected guy, so he's going to put a very pragmatic way that you got to that empire, and there's no other way to gain the empire other than colonization, imperialism. That's kind of how it goes. So if we had never seen how the sausage was made, we'd taken it a little bit better.
And we ain't seen prescription yet, but I think that's coming.
Yeah, the creators of Black Panther T'Challa needed him to be idealistic and everything that the world is not. So to make him a colonizer is against the character's roots.
For sure. I do think it was against what people had already come accustomed to know. And then it's in this streak, right, of failures of security on Wakanda multiple times over. Now we got this idea that we took that and started leading that same type of destruction to other civilizations and enslaving people. Then we make T'Challa a slave himself and try to make him, lead a slave rebellion to break out of his situation. It was just a very convoluted story when you look at it as a whole.
Does T'Challa not have a God complex?
Well, sure.
I'm just wondering, are we reading the same character? Because
but so here's
right
the
up
thing.
T'Challa's alleyway to me.
For the 50 some odd years of publication that we got from T'Challa, he never tried to go conquer somebody else on Earth. So where did
I see where Blue's at though, because here's where I'm gonna throw Blue a bone, is the idea of prior to Coates and partially in the midst of Hudlin, they weren't really still considering T'Challa a worthwhile IP. So who was really paying attention to what Priest and Hudlin were doing. To where they were really kind of underground doing things. Hell, at a certain point in Priest's run, it becomes more of a White Tiger story than a Black Panther story. Let's be real here. So like, there's certain things that happen along that path where it's like, I was even having this conversation. I think it was like Chill. I was having this conversation with someone else recently, where like, actually no, it wasn't Chill. It was I think it was Captain Diesel Dojo, where there's this generation of Black Panther fans that kind of just want to see a period of time where T'Challa just being a superhero, not like having a crazy existential political commentary. Like there's a generation of individuals that just want to see like a villain of a week or a thing of that nature. That's why I'm so frustrated by the elimination of M'Baku when it comes to media and in comics, because we have no one trying to explore him as a villain. We've just moved on and said the brother's dead. So it's like there's this idea of T'Challa really doesn't have any villains right now. Hence why it intergalactic. Like he has no Rose Gallery, he has no villains. So it's like you can't even have a villain of the week or something like that. There's always this heavy political stance behind your title because, you think just because he's a king of a nation, we have to have heavy political plot line. It's like, no, you could just have a random villain or a random threat. You don't have to end the whole damn country over something. So it's like
that's how you get him over. I agree with you. I think you can get him over doing the freak of the week or the villain of the week situation. And I think it would work with him, but I think now, since they did turn that corner on T'Challa, people are now invested in the political aspects of him being this grandiose, king of Wakanda and Wakanda forever. Like it's become a bigger than kind of T'Challa now. The
corporatization has led to a whole cultural movement.
Yes, it's become bigger than that, so it's hard.
I'm looking at it like all you need is 15,000 human beings to be ordering this comic book, or stores to be ordering this comic book to avoid cancellation, and can't find them.
That's a big, and here, like this is where I'm even gonna like turn around like fully about face when it comes to how I've been directed the past like 24 hours and how I've been at DC. There's something to be said about the Black fan base, because I can't there's a conversation that needs to be had about white fans actually like being interested in Black titles and not just reading the same white shit over and over again. Like we need to have that conversation at some point. But I like I said earlier about like when I made my Black folks don't care about static post and video, there was a lot of folks who genuinely don't feel that reading is something that they value, that comics are something that they value. So
there's never going to get them. But to the existing comic book readers, how can we market Panther or Static or some of these characters who just need a few more thousand people to be there?
There's something to be said about piracy is a conversation that we need to have. I'm not going to hold you.
Great marketing tool. Great marketing tool.
There's a great market. Piracy is a great marketing tool, but at the same time, it's like, I said this when Batman Static Beyond came out. There's no reason why I hear so many individuals say they want a Static book, but then on day 2 of that book being out, there was 8,000 clicks on the pirate site. Like y'all really be out here saying you want Static content but can't actually show up for it. So there's something to be said about the conversation of piracy, but there's also something about the fact that like you just need to put Black creators other places besides just a solicitation. You need to actually collaborate with Black content creators like ourselves. There's no reason why I should be having to reach out to these creators and try to like navigate your systems. When I see white content creators being reached out to by DC or Marvel or whatever, like there's no reason why like white content creators were getting Vertigo like press packages, but then Dakota Incident got no press package. There's no reason behind that. Same thing with Marvel, where it's like you have all these different things going on. You have all these different things for Marvel, limited sponsorships and whatnot. There's no reason why you couldn't slide a couple brothers like us, Marvel Unlimited subscriptions, and have us make some T'Challa videos. There's no reason why we can't have that conversation. So honestly? It's like, it's a matter of they're not thinking like to quote Doc Brown, they're not thinking fourth dimensionally. They're not thinking of the optics of PR, where it's like all you need to do is slide a couple brothers, a couple books. Like there's no I used to joke about this with a friend I knew who used to be like in the circles with DC and whatnot. All you need to do is tell one of these young kids on TikTok, you want a free book? You want a free book? You want to like pimp this book out if we send it to you for free? Hell, I've been sent free books. I have like 2 or 3 books being sent to me right now. So it's like there's no reason why, as long as you tell these individuals, hey, you want a free book? You want a free book? Like you just give us your honest thoughts, and for a free book. We'll pay for the postage. Here's a free book. So and they're not even thinking about it. They're more worried about their white counterparts. So it's a matter of them refining their PR, maybe having a conversation with the Breakfast Club, maybe have a conversation. Like there's something about trying to actually make comics appear to be cool to a new generation of readers.
And that's what I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm gonna interrupt.
Go ahead. You're fine. Yeah, go ahead.
I think you're speaking to the business of comics. I think comics has not updated their business model.
Not at all.
People to come and read. You know what I'm saying? I think they still, to me, Marvel, the big three, big two, whoever you want to say, or just that business model of comics, they still think that comics are on the spinner rack at CVS.
At the convenience store.
You know what I'm saying? It's like they still think the comics are in people's faces that way. The only way you get in the comic now is a Barnes and you're going to get the trade from the Barnes and Noble or something like that. What the foot traffic is at a Barnes and Noble is probably 0 to 10 people, you know what I'm saying, on an hour.
Well, there's also the conversation. There's also the conversation to be had about a lot of comic book stores are not welcoming to people of color.
I don't feel that. I feel that it's the most inclusive place in the world.
Live in another country.
Okay, fine. Go ahead,
brother. Here's a perfect example. I'm even gonna throw shade in my own backyard real quick. So there's my comic shop, Red Curtain Comics. Oh, I have two. There's Red Curtain Comics and there's Rubber City Comics. I live in Akron. I went to the same school as LeBron. Two great Irish. St. V High School.
St. V. Okay. Yeah. I went to the school as well.
Nice. Hey, cool. What's up? There's Rubber City Comics. There's Red Curtain Comics. If you go in there, you're going to have a great experience. You're going to be welcomed. You're going to be taught about how the system works. Taught about how to pre-order. There's even Red Curtain has Magic the Gathering nights and stuff like that. They're going to make you feel welcome in that environment. Versus if I go to Hazel's Comics in Canton, which is like a 15-minute drive. It looks like a scene out of the Never-Ending Story. When you walk into that joint, you smell the old books, and there's the creepy old dude sitting behind the desk, and it feels like a dungeon. And you're like, "What are you doing here? You want a Batman book, Shuddy?" Like it's that kind of nonsense where it's like it doesn't feel welcoming to the casual fan who's interested.
Never updated their firmware, man.
Yeah, like it's this idea where fans are not always welcome in certain spaces, like people of color, LGBT individuals, women in comic book stores is a whole conversation where they're not made to feel welcome. So it's like, imagine if more comic book stores were more open to having women come in, and we want women, like Black women especially, to be empowered by Storm. Imagine how many more Storm readers we'd have had if Black women felt comfortable at comic shops. So it's like that's the issue at hand, or like is that they're not thinking when it comes to maybe you need to actually have a conversation with these comic shops and be like, hey, are you making it to where Black folks are comfortable coming into your store to where you actually can affect sales? I
don't think they understand the blur. They don't understand the Black nerd. The Black nerd back in the day was totally different than what the Black nerd is now. The Black nerd, I'm an old Black nerd, right? I masked a lot of my nerdness growing up. You know what I'm saying? Just because that's what the times were. Today, Black nerds are prevalent, loud, proud. They, you know what I'm saying? Everywhere. But
it's a normalization of nerd culture. Yeah, it's cool to be a nerd, but back then it was like that thing you kept on the low because you didn't want to be bullied for it. Now it's cool to be up on the knowledge and whatnot, know about Black Panther or DBZ or whatever. It's cool to be involved in these spaces.
Because at the same time, they're still Black. You see what I'm saying? They're still Black. So
I think Black people have always been into niche genres, right? Like older generation, our fathers and grandfathers really big into Westerns. And then you probably got uncles or older brothers that was big into Kung Fu. And then you got late 80s and 90s babies that got big into the animated superhero cartoons. We've always been into very niche art forms. Right. And so I don't think there's that big of a separation between Black nerds and predominantly white comic book shop owners, because there's mutual interest there. Right. There is a bit of effort that can be shown, right? There's a bit of camaraderie that can be built with new customers. And in all honesty, I think I'm in a good spot. out here in Columbus because I've walked into quite a few shops that are like that. But I've been other places that are exactly like how you describe. It's more of a club thing. It's like you walk into a goddamn biker's lounge and you don't got your cut on. So
yeah, you gonna have a different experience at the Laughing Ogre than you're gonna have at other shops where like you actually feel welcome in certain spaces. I've been in your neck of the woods. I know what's up.
Okay, all right, for sure. All right, bet.
Did you know that they call Columbus the bus? That's why his channel is Back of the Bus.
Hey, Chill, get that piece of culture, boy. You got to show it off. That's right, Chill.
I mean, like, I take pride. I take pride in the fact that, like, I'm 20 minutes away from where Superman was born. I just, matter of fact, Marcus, if you have time in the next couple months, the Jewish Museum up in Cleveland just opened a great exhibit about like the icons from that were Jewish, like Kirby and Shiegel and Schuster and whatnot. Gotcha. It's like $12 to go check it out. So like, it's definitely worth the time.
Nice.
So yeah, this is dope.
For sure.
Yeah.
We done with T'Challa?
Yeah, it seems like. I mean, we'll never be done with it. It's always an ongoing discussion, but like, I appreciate the conversation that was had.
For sure. Definitely appreciate you coming on, man.
Of course, man. I appreciate y'all having me.
DC So White, DC Blackout. Those are the hashtags. That's his channel.
I hope y'all have a great night.
You too, bro.
You as well.
We'll love to come back sometime.
We'll send up the bat signal, or you send it to us. Oh, well, out of there.
The latest rumor is from the Cosmic Circus. Okay, Alex Perez. Someone asks, is the plan for Secret Wars still to introduce Shuri and T'Challa's multiversal grandfather T'Chanda, like the leaked concept art showed? Do we all remember that leaked concept art? Not this one. Sorry. This one here. So Cosmic Circus Alex answers, I cannot comment on this, but I know that they're actively looking for the next Black Panther as we speak, and there are a couple of names that have been thrown around. John David Washington, Damson Idris are some top contenders. Another is Lakeith Stanfield, but he's being looked at for something else down the pipeline, not Black Panther related, something bluer. We'll touch on that later, okay? But
bluer.
Alex Perez works
Alex,
for.
That was a nice little Easter egg, huh? He tried to put that in there.
Alex Perez.
Lakeith Stanfield as my bad, Chill. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're right. Okay. So the redirection of the conversation into Black Panther and David Washington and Damson Idris, but not using the word T'Challa. This man works for Marvel, is Marvel. Alex Perez is conversation driving things to the conversations Disney, Marvel, Feige wants you to have. For him to answer this question with, I can't comment on this, but let's talk about the guys who were going to be casted. No, this is a T'Challa question. It's a T'Chanda question. It's a T'Child question, like specifics, right? And he's just going, oh yeah, David Washington, Damson Idris. I don't care if Damson Idris is cast if he's playing Tucson. Older.
I don't think there would be this much pomp and circumstance if it was the kid. Now, I realize where we're at, and I know we've been spurned already, so I'm saying that with a grain of salt. But I don't think this is a trade, right? That's reporting this. So we know. Wait, who did you just put up?
I was reading off of Cosmic Surface, Alex Perez. He does this blog, and people who pay for his Patreon get to ask questions, and sometimes he's spot on. But I think
so this is not necessarily a dead story, though. This is not a direct from studio communication.
I'm implying that he is working with the studio to control narratives. Like, this is the controlled fan, like the guys that they want to make it seem like this guy's getting scoops, but they want that stuff out. Like,
if this is a controlled narrative thing, if this is as good as, or not as good, but as objective as we would expect Variety or Hollywood Reporter to be, then again, I don't think they would put this amount of pomp and circumstance on it for the kid. That's just me. I don't think it would be necessary if you were going to continue on the track that you were already on to make it this big ado. And there's also the complications of aging it up to one of these guys, all 30 plus. But in any circumstance, if it's the real deal, and we're down to John David Washington, and Damson Idris, that would completely track with what we were already thinking about all of this anyways, is that Damson Idris is in the pole position. And if there's anything still left up to debate or to negotiate, it's probably which version.
I just don't believe nothing from this. This just sounds like what we heard 2 years ago. It just sounds like what we heard 2-3 years ago. Like, yeah, but they're in the works of John David Washington. And I mean, duh, we already know that. Like, that's nothing new. And that's why I don't know. I'm just when they say take this shit with a grain of salt, like, don't even take this shit, because there was no new information. There was nothing other than the Lakeith Stanfield thing. And I think he just throwing that out.
That's the shit that's in the back of my mind is the bluer. I was like,
right. And I think he's just throwing that out more for more talking points, like just for him. I don't think this has anything to do with Mark. It's the same shit with the My Time to Shine and Cynthia Erivo showing up every other week about being fucking.
Hey, she makes me so nervous, bro. She makes me so nervous because she says a lot of bullshit, but then she hides the real shit in the middle of the bullshit.
Yeah.
And she keep talking about the Cynthia Erivo thing. And I'm like, I swear to God, I better not. Winds of winter, guide me. I'm a walk out of whatever theater I'm sitting in when I see her.
I can't just overlook some of the things that these scoopers say, because they've been their resume. They've been wrong, but they've been especially Alex has been right more than he's been wrong.
Not to cut you off there. I'm not saying he's wrong, and I don't mean to cut you off. I'm just saying I just think this is just fluff. That's all I'm saying. It's just fluff.
Oh yeah, I don't think there's anything. Well, at first I didn't think, when I first read this, because like all the other stuff, until it's official from Marvel, I honestly just waved it off. I didn't think anything of it until I started, kind of think about John David Washington. And we haven't seen John David Washington's name in a while, if this is real. But with knowing Denzel is in it, I don't know what they're doing, bro. I don't know if it's T'Challa or not, or who the fuck it is. But if it is T'Challa that's in it, maybe it's maybe that was the thing with Denzel. Let's get my son over here and have him be the new T'Challa. And I'm not saying that that's how the conversation, but maybe this was a Coogler idea. I don't know. Maybe this is a studio idea. If it is T'Challa, I don't know. But
John David that's who got to be Adam Brashear.
I would prefer him as Adam Brashear over T'Challa.
He's not. I just don't.
I'd prefer a Blue Marvel movie over Adam Brashear, one of the Midnight Suns. Like, it also depends what is his role in this.
I just
his role in what?
Like I said, he could be a part of an ensemble cast, or is he going to be leading as a Blue Marvel $200 million budget movie? Like,
gotcha.
Where do we see him?
Also, what was that last thing I was about to say? He also said that, which I think we all should know, and I think I've said this many times, and this is not confirmed. This is Alex again. He just said later on in his little post thing that he does that thank you. It is pertaining to Doomsday Secret Wars, because he also got asked about the child, and he said the child is not in Doomsday. And when the child's not in Doomsday, the child's not in Secret Wars, because it just doesn't narratively make sense for him to show up. At all. So and then, like I said, I'm standing on this hill, I'm dying on this hill until I'm proven different. It doesn't make sense also narratively, but it also doesn't make sense from the point of, this is Ryan Coogler's made up character. Why the fuck am I going to let you play with my character before I get to? No.
So that's Ryan's toy. It don't make sense for Doomsday unless they're going to take a sizable time jump. So I didn't think they would ever commit to something like that in this movie, in a movie where you got to have it, right? You're adding a lot of explaining. You're introducing a new Black Panther. And so it'd be a lot easier for you to do like a T'Challa variant, which is what I expect them to do in Doomsday, than to age up and pulling from another universe. You know what I mean?
Secret Wars would be the platform for that.
Secret Wars would be better if you were going to go to rather.
If you're doing
But
the
that
Agent
also,
No.
He's not.
you gonna do that to get a new child.
You don't. I'm
I'm
telling you,
they're not doing that. They're not touching that kid. I know, you know,
Right? Look at these hopeful guys.
Marcus holding out hope on T'Challa, and I am too. But
It
I
just
don't
doesn't
believe.
make sense. We're gonna go to another universe to find this random child. We don't even
No,
know.
I don't think they're going to find the
Panther.
kid. I don't think they're going to find the kid.
He Haitian. We don't
I
even
think-
know if he half Wakandan in the other universes. Go
My
find another
theory
T'Challa.
is I think the same way we're gonna see our Avengers, whoever the fuck they are, and the Thunderbolts.
You know who they are. Red
Avengers?
Guardian, Ghost.
No, that's the
Agent.
Avengers with the Z.
That's the new Avengers. They the new.
No,
They the new
it's
hotness.
Sam. It's Sam, Shang-Chi.
No, he don't even got a team, bro. He don't even
Thor.
got a team.
No. Well, from the information I got, that's who it is.
We ain't even seen him. He got. That's
that is.
booth.
I guess that
Man,
is
that's the
true. Coming from the
bootleg
trailer that was shown at
The information I got is that's
The new Avengers is the ones we seen in the Thunderbolts. They got a title card. They got a movie. I ain't seen Sam do shit except for run around and get beat up by the Red Hulk.
Tina. Who are the Avengers? Tina in the chat. Tina, who are the Avengers in the trailer? Was on Sam's team. I know
wrong. It's the Avengers.
Well, we know that they're all that group is all
Right.
going to go to the Baxter building in the 60s. So if they're able to jump from 20 whatever the fuck it is currently in the MCU all the way back to the 60s, and then that's the same thing I feel. My theory, I think they're going to do with T'Challa. It's just not going to be T'Challa. We're going to go pull Missouri or
that's not the 60s. I think it's just themed that way. I think it's the time period is the time period. Is
I
just
think the time period is the 20 whatever the fucks.
Yeah, but that universe is just on some 60s type shit.
Okay. Okay. Well, I still don't think it's T'Challa. I think they're going to pull like an Missouri or something. I don't think they're pulling a T'Challa. Now they've said that Victor, according to the rumors, Victor knows, which makes sense. I'm glad that works that way. Victor knows the Fantastic Four. I guess where we're supposed to pick up in a post-credit scene or something like that. This is what's currently out there. Is that Johnny and I forget where this is happening at. Johnny and where we end. Okay, that's where it is. So the post-credit scene in Fantastic Four where she's firing up her power because Doom's in there touching on not like that, but taking short, letting the boy touch his face. on
Reword that, please.
Touching
on the boy.
Doom's in there trying to get his face healed, I guess. I don't know. Talking to little kid. So I guess on that part, the boys, Johnny and Reed, are at a baseball game. She's gonna see that it's Doom. They know him from, obviously she knows, Reed knows him from college. She knows him through Reed. Blah 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 blah. And so he's gonna ask them for help and explain to them what's going on and blah blah blah. Which doesn't make sense because I guess I don't know because he's from a different universe. I thought. So if he's from a different universe, yeah, I thought Doom was from a different universe.
This is trash. They everybody's standing behind the Hulk when they run in. Like
Torres.
everybody run behind the ball
Torres.
in a single file.
I'm Falcon Torres. How's everybody going?
Who was Isaiah?
Isaiah Bradley.
Man, Isaiah Bradley.
He's not going to be.
They messed up my suit. They messed up my suit.
They gonna do some clicks, and that nigga gonna be.
He is not going to be in there. Trust me.
No, he's not on that team.
Bruce Banner, Shang-Chi, and Sam. They gonna be
And
like,
Wong.
hey, Sam,
Wong gonna be there.
Wong gonna be there. Yep.
Thor.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
Thor
does
also-
take place in the 60s?
Thor
I
got a
thought
child.
when it first came out, they said it was present
do.
time. It was just
Okay.
based on the 60s. Okay.
Okay, so they're not in present time. So I go back to my theory of they're gonna go to a 60s Wakanda, and they're gonna say, "We need your help in the multiversal
So
Avengers."
everybody's going back in time. Like no matter where we're at, we're all going back in time.
No,
So
I
we're gonna
think
go
they're
back in
just
time
certain
to get
characters.
an older kid.
Why
Just
are we
certain
going back in
characters.
time?
No,
Like I'm
they're not. I'm
understanding
telling
this
you, they're
time
not
shit.
going. Oh, older. Wait, no. You talking about going to get TJ?
Oh,
I'm-
we're not doing the kid. It's gonna be
Yeah.
another Black Panther. You got
I
it.
think it's I think it's gonna be Zuri or something like that. They're gonna
I
be
don't
like,
care who the replacement for T'Challa is. Just that they are replacing T'Challa is the problem, and I'm upset equally at every single one of them.
yeah, it's coming. Hopefully not. But I don't know. We'll see. But that trailer is supposed to the one for Doomsday because whatever Black Panther it is, ain't gonna be in Doomsday. I don't think that's happening until the Secret War stuff.
Oh, you don't think any of these guys are gonna be in Doomsday?
Like who? Like what
Well,
guys?
I mean, if they're gonna do a Zuri or T'Challa,
Oh, I don't
or
think so.
whoever. I think they're gonna have a Black Panther that's not Shuri in this movie.
You
for
think
sure.
so?
Yes. Yes.
In what way though?
You said
You think they're going to
have
start
Shuri?
build because they have to lose first. They have to lose to Doom, and then they have to now let's build the multiversal Avengers and
So
and then again, I have no idea what the fuck happens in this film, so don't get me to lying.
two things. The time travel aspect of it makes it possible. Also, it seems like everybody is gonna be clicking up in their own little areas, right? Like Doom got his own little spot at least from the concept art and stuff that we've seen so far. We ain't see shit in the trailers, but from the concept art, it seems like everybody gonna have their own little areas. Like the Hawks gonna be in a little medieval type of setup. They probably live around Doom. Probably Spider-Man
that's
have
for
his
Secret
own little
Wars.
situation. Is that Secret Wars? Or is that Doom?
Yeah, that would be
That-
Secret Wars.
That's Secret Wars because at
Yeah,
that time
that'd be the
Doom
Battle
is
World.
God
Battle
Emperor
World.
Doom.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Marcus
Maybe
didn't
not.
say that Shuri won't be the Black Panther in Doomsday. He's saying there will be another Black Panther who is not Shuri.
Another
in
one.
Doomsday.
Yeah. But I mean, if this is not the part of the story that they're highlighting in Dooms, then maybe not. I have a hard time believing that they're gonna run Wakanda back with only Shuri. That's a personal opinion, though.
I think they're gonna run it back with Shuri.
No,
I just-
she's gonna be there. I don't know
BP3
if
is gonna
it'll
be
only
Shuri.
her. I don't know if it's gonna be only Shuri.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
She's gonna be the mainstay. BP3 is gonna be Shuri.
Really? After
I
Secret
believe
Wars?
so.
Okay.
Yeah. I 1000% believe it's gonna be Shuri.
She will be there, and it may be a passing the torch situation. She
Later
will
on,
not be the
Act
only
3.
Black
Passing
Panther.
to who though?
Yeah. Act 3. The end of the movie.
Passing to Miles Canton. I'm sticking
Right.
on that. That's coming.
Miles-
He is Wakandan in some way. It's coming.
I don't think that they believe in Letitia Wright necessarily as being able to carry that franchise. And I mean the numbers slightly bear that out as well. But
I just don't know how
to
you
kind of
start-
hedge your bets, you'd be safer to put her next
Sit.
to what you could pitch to people as the future. So if you are recasting T'Challa, that would be a perfect opportunity to bring
How do
him
you
back.
announce that? You know what I'm saying? Like,
How do you announce it?
yeah, how does that play
You
out?
don't. This is
BP
comic books. You surprise everyone.
So you just with a surprise, but that's what I'm so. But I got to get butts and seats because according to
Right.
you're saying that Shuri
You
can't.
can tease it. You can tease it. You can show a door opening up and there's some footsteps or some shit. It could be somebody in the background be like, Shuri. And we don't know who it is. And she turn around and be like,
Nope. You want people to show up for the movie. You have T'Challa in all of the
right,
trailers with Return of the Mac
tease
playing
T'Challa's
underneath.
return. You don't have to explicitly say, hey, the king is back.
You want to sell
You know?
tickets. Yeah, you want people to know what
I
they're
think
getting.
you do. I think
I
you
think
go.
even
I
the
think if you're
tease
going to
of a
pass the
potential
torch,
return gets you more anticipation than Wakanda Forever. And that's
What's
what
that,
we're
The
shooting for
Return?
here, right? We're trying to get
Oh, that's
better
what
than
I'm
what we
saying.
did last out.
like what Wakanda Forever, the selling point was the death of Chadwick Boseman.
Right, it was the
As
funeral.
horrible as that, they made sure in those trailers to let you know Chadwick Boseman is dying or has died.
Mhm.
They didn't even care about marketing Shuri. Really, all they did was her face.
No,
like, at
they
the end.
marketed it as a funeral for sure.
You know what I'm saying? For BP3, I think they go all in on marketing. If it is going to be a passing of the torch, you have to market that as a passing of a torch story.
I think
To
you're
get the butts
ignoring
and
that
seats.
that BP3 happens after Secret Wars, and Secret Wars should offer direction of what's to come.
Yeah,
It's
like
not.
we already know by then you don't really need to. You don't really need to hint towards people where we going at that point. Okay, so if they by the time we get to Secret Wars, we already have a new T'Challa. We already have a Black Panther from another universe or something like that.
So you saying that's staying?
Right. Okay. So cool. We got one.
Okay.
So now going into Black Panther 3, is it really necessary for you to rehash that again? For you to be like, hey, by the way, we got this other Panther over here. He may be involved. You're probably thinking about, oh, where is he at? How is he going to play into this movie? That's where you can start to piecemeal. You can start to give them little drips. You don't have to necessarily blast him on the posters or put him in the first trailer.
Because the way I'm looking at Secret Wars is if it's the soft reboot or hard whatever it is,
soft,
but it's gonna be a hard stop though, right? Even because we're rebooting. So it's even in the comics, it was a hard stop and they rebooted. You know what I'm saying? Going forward,
I don't think they're gonna do that, y'all. I think the soft reboot stuff is overblown.
Well, even if it's not, you do that. You bring in this T'Challa, and you're saying they're gonna transpose him into BP3 with Shuri recognizing him as. I mean, it's a movie.
It's a movie, and then also she presumably is in the battles that will take them through Doomsday and Secret War. So camaraderie is built through that, right? We're forged by fire.
She's also can awaken her Aja Adana abilities, which is what happens after her Black Panther tenure in comic books.
Chill, you think people read and know about what Shuri can do? Do you see the Shuri that we have?
Well, yeah, they definitely read the 2009 Black Panther comic book, so maybe they'll just keep reading.
It definitely happens in the comics. She definitely found Black Panther in the comics.
I think what the reboot after Secret Wars is just, again, some of the characters and teams we don't currently have because they didn't have the rights and blah 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 blah. I think it's just like, hey, they're here. Here's our little soft reboot. Everybody's now on the same timeline. I think some things will be changed. I think some things will remain the same. I don't. If we're again rumor wise, there's not supposed to be any memory of the old universe outside of I think Doctor Strange might remember and a couple few others remember the old universe or whatever. But I think one of the things that remains the same, and I'm call me crazy, is Wakanda. I don't think Wakanda changes in the MCU after the soft reboot. I think T'Challa's still dead.
Yep.
I think whatever multiversal Azuri or whoever the fuck they've pulled out of whatever Wakanda and whatever timeline, he goes back. Thanks for helping.
High five.
And now Shuri's going to be the focal point as she passes the torch to young T'Challa, who is going to then take.
That's a dud.
Who is going to then take
over.
over.
That's the story.
Y'all pitching a dud.
Get it?
That's the story.
Y'all are pitching a dud.
I'm with Darius. That is exactly what is going to happen. That's it. Remember,
within the franchise,
we're getting Coogler back.
Stop talking about it. This shit's dead.
You got to think, Darius. Coogler is coming back, and y'all said, he got a toy in the toy box that he made himself that he has not.
You can use that toy. That don't mean that your toy that you made is going to be. Also, I'll lean on JP a little bit in this one, right? Don't think that the toy that you created is going to be what takes us past you. Right, I don't know how much longer Ryan Coogler gonna be doing this stuff with Black Panther or Marvel, but what they not gonna do is set the entire future of the franchise up off the character that you created. It's not gonna happen.
I think this is the end of the franchise. I think this is it.
This ain't gonna be the last Black Panther movie.
This is it. Look.
Look like they're about to hang it up. They said, look, we done with the Black stuff.
Coogler is going on to do whatever he's doing over there, Warner Brothers, and he's doing X-Files and all. Coogler has his hand in a lot of pots. So let's say Coogler, he does this is his grand, the end for him. What is next? Who takes it?
Man, y'all are forgetting this man created a whole character. You think after I play with him once, I'm about to throw him this?
That's not it. I'm not saying they throw him away.
No, not throw him away. I'm saying you think
Panther in
Coogler's going to
perpetuity.
walk away. I don't think Coogler walks away. I think
Oh,
he
you think
gives
Coogler
you
gonna
another
come back
bang, bang,
before?
bang, another trilogy. Then
Oh, you
he
think we'll
might
get
say,
another trilogy?
"Oh, I think
There he
he
is.
does."
It's not lasting another trilogy if they come
This
back
is
with
it.
What do y'all think this is? Would Kyle Skywalker be able to have another trilogy or behind
That's
him?
what but Marcus, that's what
Hey,
I'm
man,
saying. This is it.
I don't think
3
they
is
stop
we
making these
done. We
movies.
out of here. Darren's got a
Oh.
little bit more faith in me than with going another trilogy. With
But
what?
how are we even gonna get them 3 movies made? What are they gonna be about?
The kid,
The who?
the child. Remember when we all talked about when Coogler did? I wish I could remember that interview. But he was talking about the. Anyway, whatever. He's gonna take T'Challa's stories from the comics, and it's just going to be played out through this kid.
But did we not just do that with Shuri, who is an actual comic book character? Did we not just see them play out the flooding of Wakanda in a conflict with Namor? That's a T'Challa story. How did that
It
fare?
is.
She does fight Namor with the Desert Sons. That is comic accurate.
But okay, again, flooding of Wakanda doesn't happen without T'Challa. So my point still stands. We already did that? We already
But
did
see,
it, and now
that's the
this is a less
difference.
canonical
That's the
character
difference,
with less of an
Marcus.
audience. less
T'Challa's gonna
appeal.
be there this time. It's just not.
What?
It's just
Remember,
not. It's gonna be T'Challa.
they're not
addressing this
So
motherfucker.
we're going back to the thing where we can just not say his actual name and convince everybody that that's T'Challa.
His name
That's
is
how they
T'Challa.
selling it.
No.
That's what
They
he's
selling it as
Y'all.
that's T'Challa.
He told you that. He said, but
That's right.
they call me T'Challa.
And there's going to be a
Marcus.
lot of people who accept it.
No,
They are
no.
selling Toussaint as T'Challa. So when he show back up,
They are.
you won't even hear the name Toussaint no more when he shows back up.
So
They
y'all
don't
telling
know
me?
him.
So
I
y'all
agree with
telling
Blue.
me if they would have named Jonathan Kent Clark Jr., then everybody would have just been cool with Clark
No.
Jr. taking over for Superman.
That's a white superhero.
But it's superheroes. It doesn't work because it's the way that they're setting this, the way that they setting this up. Look, I don't agree with it, but I understand where y'all going, right? This is not, they not thinking like us. This is Marvel, yada, yada, yada. I understand that. There's still things that work in superhero franchises and things that don't. If you are going to pass this franchise off to a auxiliary character, a secondary character, I don't care if you give him the full T'Challa, son of T'Chaka, but it's not, well, but at that point,
Marcus,
basically would be
last spring, I should say, what did we just see? They gave you the black man with wings and a shield. That's an auxiliary character. They believed in him until they didn't.
It failed miserably.
I know.
Blue. It failed
I know.
miserably.
Right. But now the thing is, we gave you Shuri, which was an auxiliary character, even though it was in the comics. I get all that, and it didn't do what we did.
Money, right?
We got T'Challa back, and we're gonna push T'Challa.
Okay, and that would be a mistake. And it would be a mistake. I'm not saying whether or not they're going to do it.
Just like they are pushing Chris Evans now.
If they expect to continue on this current trajectory of putting Toussaint on the throne and just calling him T'Challa and expecting everybody to get on the bandwagon, they will make less than they made in Wakanda forever.
Yeah.
I think that's.
They will.
I personally think that's.
As long as we all on the same page. I can't tell them what to do,
think
but that shit's going to bomb.
That's debatable. I think I do. And the only reason I think it's debatable is just because of what we've talked about this before. We don't have to go into it, but just because what I've seen from the public, the court of public opinion when it comes to just a male in the suit. They don't really care.
They don't care.
That's not how comic books work, y'all. And we can't change the calculus because it's a black comic book. Now we doing what the white creators do. Now we looking at the black product.
I report to you that there is different standards for black characters and white.
Yeah, no. But now we're
not changing the standard. I'm not changing the standard.
No, wait, hold on, Blue. We now are creating a different standard for black characters. Now we saying, oh, we just gonna eat anything up. As long as they call the T'Challa, they gonna get with it and they gonna pay their dollar. Bullshit.
The man who created the recast T'Challa petition
as I told
said,
you,
"Is T'Challa on screen? I'm good."
As I've said before, until T'Challa comes back, I don't plan on watching Wakanda, Jaconda, I'm not watching anything Wakanda related in the MCU.
I know what we're gonna do.
The public.
I know what we're gonna do.
Your Kyles,
Right?
your Jacobs,
we
your Pauls, your
understand-
Timmys, they don't care.
They don't care.
If we understand, yes, they do, y'all. Yes, they do.
Hey, I'm
Because
telling you.
we couldn't just transpose a name like Clark Kent or Bruce Wayne or James Bond onto somebody else and just run with it.
They're
run with
gonna
it and have
no,
everybody
accept
it.
They're
So
gonna be
why does
aware
that
that it's
calculus
him.
change now that we talk about Black Panther?
They're
If
going to
Batman
be aware
died-
that it's Junior. They know, hey, this is T'Challa's child, but
Right.
he's
They've
not
already sold the
introducing himself
replacement.
every time as I'm T'Challa Junior.
Right. I'm
just
just
T'Challa.
T'Challa now.
Guys, the child that we left in Wakanda Forever was roughly about 6, 7, 8 years old, something in
You
there,
trying
right?
to put logic into this, Marcus?
No.
There's no
It's not
logic
just
involved.
logic. It's not just logic, Blue. It's the fact that you are going to have to take a painstaking step to make him age appropriate to even take this role. So you can't get around the fact that this is a different character. You can't just simply hide it behind the fact that he's T'Challa Jr.
You are also
You are going
running
to
on
have
the
to
premise.
acknowledge to some real degree that this
You're
is a
running on
different
the premise
character.
that you don't
It's not
know
as seamless
that
as
we know
just
how
saying
time is going to
this
work
is
after Secret
Junior.
Wars.
It's not as
Yeah.
seamless as just saying this is Junior, but we're gonna call him T'Challa so that y'all forget that this is not the real fucking T'Challa. If he's
Who
going to
said
be
they're
able-
trying to make the audience forget?
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
it's-
they're
yeah.
trying to make the
They're
audience
not
forget. I
trying
think
to
they
make you
want you to know
forget.
You
this
said
is
the-
the child. This is his son. But
They've sold.
here's a
that's what I'm
male.
saying.
Here's a male Black
And
Panther,
it's a
and they
male
are going to
character
eat that up.
as Black Panther. That's it.
and what I'm telling you is that it doesn't work. We would have seen it work
us.
somewhere else if that works. Where else has that worked? Where you could just slot in another male character, damn who it is, and it's as successful as the original. Where's that worked at ever?
Batman. Not live
Batman
action,
what?
but in the comic
You're
book.
running. You're running.
No.
on a
We're
different
talking movies
premise
right now.
than-
We're
than
talking
what it's-
movies.
You're
But
running on a different premise
but
than what it's
Marcus,
going to
remember,
be.
this is the first time that they've ever done. This is a first.
Yeah, I remember. That's
This
what I'm
is the
trying to say
first.
to y'all. This is the first time this has ever been
Right.
done, and it's never. Well, no. It's not the first time it's ever been done because they
where
tried to
they
replace
didn't
the
recast.
character.
This is the first time I've never seen an IP get a recast. That's what I'm saying. So this is a first. We didn't get a recast. We're still not getting a recast. We're getting a new character just being put into the shoes of the character that should be recast.
And
They
so
are
based
on
off of
brand
that-
with what they have been doing. They're on brand.
And so, based off of that, the fact that it's the first, you think that's going to lead it to success? The fact that
I
we've never
don't
seen it
think
before?
no. You keep thinking that we think it's going to be successful.
That's all I'm saying is that it's going to fail. That's all I'm saying.
I don't disagree.
I disagree. I said I don't
Derek
think
said
it's going to fail. I don't think that the general audience is going to have this visceral
I think it makes
emotional
6 to 7.
like we are to
which
it.
won't be a failure.
It's not that they have to be as emotionally invested as we are. It's how superhero franchises work. You enter the franchise through the main character. If the main character is unfamiliar, that dampens enthusiasm. People are not going to just transfer their enthusiasm from the character that's been built up in media for
agree.
60 years to something that Ryan Coogler created in the last 5 because of emotion. That's just that's not how that shit works.
I
and
agree,
so-
but Marvel don't care how things work.
Okay, that cool. They can do what they want. I can't stop them. I'm just telling you, based off of everything we've seen, the comic book media on the big screen suggests that shit is heading for a big stinker. If that's the way that they want to go with it.
But I don't think I'm kind of leaning towards what Darius. I don't think it's going to be a. I think that what it was 1.2 billion that the first one made 1.3. They're looking at that like shit. That's an anomaly. We came back and we hit the mark that.
Seeing that's a
movie with
travesty of it all. Yeah.
6
They
to
probably
800.
think that shit probably should have never happened in the first
It
place.
should have never
but
happened.
They
in the
not even
first
trying to
place.
get it back. Which
So
is
that's 6, and that's what I'm saying. That 6, 7, 8 range. That's the range that they shooting for.
that is so sad. From a franchise that debuted to a performance, a solo performance. We didn't need to go drag in the Hulk. We didn't need to have Chris Evans in this movie. Robert Downey Jr. didn't have to have an after credit scene. We did it off the back of the characters that meant something to this title. 1.3 billion. We slid to 800 million on the second movie. And now you telling me the third movie in 2026, 8 years later, is going to be making $600 million? Oh, God.
Maybe.
Ios mio.
Maybe. Telling you, maybe. We will see. We'll see how it goes. Because we also, like I said, we also don't know how time works. We don't know how time is going to work after Secret Wars when it comes to this child. He was 8 when we saw him last. The motherfucker could be 18 when we see him next.
So we got a 10-year time jump just to get the fucking child in here?
Well, maybe only the time will jump for this character. It's science fiction. I don't get my head wrapped up about how are they going to age him. Anything can happen.
Sure.
Yeah.
Hyperbolic time chamber or something like that.
Bingo.
That we conveniently didn't have for his father. Y'all pissing me off with every explanation. I'm getting mad at every explanation.
I'm just letting you know. And you know this. I don't even know why you're arguing the fact.
When I argue it,
they can get there. I know that they can find a way to make it make sense for them.
Oh no, it's not going to make sense. See, you think it's going to make the movie will not make sense. That me and Darius are just saying that people are going to show up regardless whether the movie makes sense or not.
That's all I'm saying.
They'll show up to the degree that they show up is what's in question.
The guy
600, 700 million.
The guy who made the recast T'Challa petition says, "Is T'Challa on screen? I'm good."
That's fine. I mean, look, I don't expect everybody to share my opinion, but I know how to look across the vast amount of data and make a determination. And that's where that's coming from. It's not coming from a personal standpoint. If I had my way, you know what we'd be doing. If you're going to go about it that way, you're going about it the least successful pathway. So you're expecting them to make money the least advantageous way to them to do so.
I don't think they make $0. I don't think.
But also sorry, Joe, go ahead.
I think that it will make less than Wakanda Forever, but I still think there's enough to child accepting to maybe hit that 600, 700, 800 million. And
that's
and they go, well,
embarrassing, yo. that's what we talk about with Star Wars all the time. What's our problem with Star Wars if we can just allow our title franchise to lose $200 to $300 million every time it shows up?
How many times did they keep trying to run through that locked door, though?
You talking about Star Wars?
With Star Wars, yeah. How many times did they keep trying to run through that locked door?
Look at where the franchise is now, though. That's not what I want. Right? I don't want them to walk head first into a mistake and destroy the franchise.
KK left on her own accord. Was she fired or did she leave on her own accord?
I think it was a mutual decision.
Mutual decision. But push come to shove, if she wanted to stay, she probably would have stayed. Yeah. Like if she really wanted to stay. And that's what I'm getting at. These executives at the top, they're not creatives. They're not creative. They're thinking dollars, which is what you're getting at. But the way they're getting at is like, we have this floor, this ceiling that we need to reach. If we reach this 600, 700, 800, we're good to go. That's how they're looking at it. Think about Superman. They hit 600. Good to go.
I also think that that what's it called? The post-credit scene was their way of. I think they were going to do whatever they want to do regardless. But I also think that was their way of measuring. You know, how was the audience going to take this type of recast?
Well, but how much? If you were using that as a measuring stick, how much of a loss was going to tell you that it's how much of a loss were you looking for to say that the fans didn't like it? Like, did it need to make $200 million? Did it need to make 50?
No. I'm talking about the reaction to the post-credit scene. Right. It's not as if people were coming out rejecting outside of us. Rejecting,
and I think that loss, that $400 million loss, or $500 million loss, I think they just gonna chop that up to, well, Chadwick had died, so we didn't have our main guy.
So we gonna march out and not have our main guy again.
No, they have him.
Yeah, Marcus. I think it'll make less.
They have him.
It's gonna make less. It's definitely gonna make less. It's just whether or not they accept the diminishing returns and continue to make Black Panther movies after. It has to make less. James Bond Jr. doesn't make James Bond movies. Clark Kent Jr. can't make Superman movies.
James Bond Jr.
Nobody Jr. is going to be, except if you have to acknowledge
they're never gonna call this man T'Challa Jr.
Blue, if they gotta age him up, we have to acknowledge that that's T'Challa Jr. There's no way of
never gonna call him. They never two son. or Junior would never, or if it does say Junior, it'll be like real quick and fast. It's never going to. They're never going to be like, "Hey, T'Challa Jr." That's never going to come out.
I don't think they're never going to say it. I just don't think it's going to be emphasized. I don't think it's
that's what I mean.
dwelled upon. I don't think he's going to be like, he's going to, when he meets Shang-Chi. Oh, I'm.
No, he's going to say T'Challa. He's going to say I'm T'Challa. By that time, though, we have already established
son of
who this
T'Challa
character
is what he'll
is.
say.
Yeah, we will already know
son of
who this
T'Challa.
guy is.
And okay, we know where each of us stand. We know all of us have our opinions on how successful that will go. Thank you. Let's get into some Star Wars, though. Let's talk about.
You got a super,
there's some supers actually. Yeah. Let's do the supers.
Well, we're moving on now to the side.
I am Two Fly Cam about an hour ago says while everyone is here, favorite DC character, Batman. Off the table of DC characters.
A villain, no Joker.
John Stewart.
I mean, John Stewart is mine. I like John Stewart. Probably be my favorite.
Batman is mine. Actually, if I had to choose one outside of Batman, I'd say maybe.
Outside of
Icon. Batman? Icon is the last DC comic that I actually read that I had on the pull list. Give me Icon.
I didn't like the last. I didn't like the last run. So,
I'm probably way behind you. Last thing I read on him was Icon versus Hardware.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
Oh, you didn't like? Oh, okay, that was the last book.
Yeah, that was the last thing that they did.
I read that shit like 2 years ago. Jesus.
Yeah,
Christ.
that was it. Yep.
DC so white. Favorite favorite villain? You can't say Joker.
Harvey Dent. Character that starts as a hero, has a tragic fall, ends up being one of Batman's greatest villains.
Darkseid.
Yeah, Darkseid.
Is it favorite DC villain or Batman?
Yeah, favorite DC villain.
I guess I'll be generic and go Darkseid as well.
What DC project under gun are you most excited for, JP?
Oh yeah, that's got to be a JP question.
With James Gunn project, are you Lanterns?
That's not. It's an okay, sure.
He said, "You got to give him the credit for it."
Under gun. It's under
at least a little bit of credit, not all of it. But
Darius don't want to get Gunn nothing.
That's not true.
Super.
Last time that I checked, was selling zones in the set. Make $250,000, no sweat. Last time that I checked.
Quasimodo says when Ian McKellen dies, no recast. Also, Bella Ramsey wants to play Spider-Man. As long as it's a white, masculine identifying person under the mask. I don't want to touch this question.
Yeah, fuck no. But when Ian McKellen dies, there would definitely be another Magneto. There's already been another Magneto. They already recasted him. Michael Fassbender is Magneto.
Who I prefer. So that's the route they need to go.
Oh, you like Fassbender more than McKellen?
I think Fassbender is a fantastic.
I think they serve different purposes.
He's good. Yeah, I don't know if I enjoy him more than McKellen, but I think he's a serviceable Magneto for sure. He could definitely.
Ian McKellen at X3 when he was explaining why the pawns go first. What?
But that's what I'm saying. I think they serve different purposes. You got old Magneto, which Ian McKellen plays very well.
He does.
And then you got Michael Fassbender, who plays a younger Magneto, who he does very well. So
yes, I'm not calling the Fassbender version dirt. I enjoyed both.
No, I didn't say you were calling him dirt. I'm just saying I just think they just serve two different purposes. Until you get a main Magneto, this is him going forward, then I think you have the discussion of pitting, somebody against somebody. I don't think you can pit Fassbender against Sir Ian McKellen. I just don't think you can do it.
What? They played the same character. We're gonna have
I don't know. I think you can.
Well, also they're playing them at different eras too. Yeah, it's not like we can. It's not a complete 1-to-1 now.
It's
But
like
Michael
it's like
Fassbender was good. He was a highlight of some of them other X-Men films that like Apocalypse
and right. And I get what y'all saying. Like
Days
if
of
they
Future
did,
Past.
let's say they keep Hugh Jackman
Great.
on as old Logan, you know what I'm saying, old man Logan, and then they bring a new Wolverine in. I guess you can make the comparison because he's been young Wolverine and old Wolverine. I guess you can make that comparison, but it's two different characters. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We can keep going. Keep moving.
Well, moving on to finally this Star Wars thing. So the Mandalorian and Grogu movie has come out. Show of hands, who has seen this movie? 1, 2. Okay. Rank it out of 10.
4.
6.2.
0.2. Okay.
I think I did a rant on this last night about. Yeah, I did a rant on it.
There is a news item. Jon Favreau considered including a flash forward to Grogu's future in Mando Grogu. A flash forward, a glimpse of the future. What do you think about that, Darius?
I think, wow, what a way to almost make the movie interesting. Yeah, I thought the movie was awful. I didn't see it in theaters. I'm so glad I did not pay to see it, which I said from the start I wasn't going to do. I saw
Send me
it
the
here
link
at
to that
home.
website you're using. I need a new place.
I will. I saw it here at home. Yeah, and I agree with every. I can't say the movie's dog shit. It's not dog shit. It's just there. It's not good. It's not dread awfully bad. It's literally, like they said, it's episodes of The Mandalorian and Grogu. If this was coming on Disney Plus, I would have honestly preferred that. This probably would have been a better watch that way, because I found, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, I'm really not. I think I peeked out and fell asleep about the the climax, the big fight. I think that's
Dog, I fell
right
asleep
before
too.
it. Yes.
I fell asleep when Mando was incapacitated and
Mhm.
Grogu was
That's
doing
bad.
all of the little bed stuff. I was
If the movie puts you to sleep, you got to drop it at least another point and a half.
Well,
I was wanting to
because
give it a 7, but right
it was
there,
meant,
that,
it's
that
meant to
third
be
act,
viewed as 30-minute episodes, and they made you
Yeah.
view it as a 2 hour or however long it is, and it's like
it was like Moana 2. You know how
Yeah.
Moana 2 was a TV special that they made into a movie basically because they wanted to get back on the
But
screen.
see,
That's
the rant I went on last night. The marketing for this is ass backwards. You gave us the Mandalorian television series for free, or for this subscription price, which everybody calls free, and you're trying to take a TV IP or a streaming IP and put it into theater. It doesn't work that way, because people's minds are programmed to Mando's supposed to be on TV. Grogu's supposed to be on TV.
Well, I think it could work in certain aspects, right? Because Game of Thrones is getting ready to have the same problem here in a couple of years. I think the different comparison, though, is that while Game of Thrones can be episodic, there's a stronger through narrative for Game of Thrones that kind of translates to each of them shows. You feel it in Knights of the Seven Kingdoms as much as you feel it in the original series. There's no such thing in the Star Wars projects right now on Disney Plus.
No, because it's episodic. It's like y'all said, it's episodic.
It's almost too episodic. It's all filler, no overarching narrative. And so when you try to translate that to the big screen, the big screen is supposed to be an event, right? You take a TV show to the movie theaters, you do that for a large scale event. Stranger Things, they ended up on the theater for their last season, right? It's not like we're going to just randomly throw some episodes out there to go show in the theater. It's got to be big. You got to make people want to come out,
right? So even using that, because I like you brought up Stranger Things. Stranger Things did it as an event, but guess what? This is still here. It's still on Netflix. It's still a Netflix thing. If they wanted to take, if they wanted to do Mandalorian episodes and then put the finale, you go to the movies to watch it real quick, but it's going to be on Netflix the next, 3 days or after the little small theatrical run. That's cool. But this is a TV IP. You know what I'm saying? They make TV movies for a reason, because they know these things can't live on the big screen. Mandalorian is Mando and Grogu is a TV movie, and that's what y'all are telling me. It's a TV. It's a made for TV movie, made for television movie.
I think if they'd have worked a little bit harder, or I mean, honestly, a lot of this was too late by the time that this movie was making it out.
Yeah.
But if like if that whole thing with the back half of Boba Fett never happened, and we go into this thing, you get a Boba Fett appearance, Ahsoka pops up. This maybe this leads into Ahsoka season 2 for some reason, somehow. Like those type of things can drive anticipation. Those type of things can help you with your overall, audience. But what they offered up was basically what we were already getting on Disney Plus,
right,
in a better film format.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, I agree with you and disagree, because if they'd have taken bigger risk, they could have bucked some of that narrative, but they didn't. They went a safe route just to collect whatever cash they could off of the brand.
Right. To me, the bigger risk would have been a completely different, shouldn't have been called Mandalorian Grogu. You have a whole, because now I start a new IP, a new franchise, but I use it off the back of Mandalorian and Grogu. And like you said, I can introduce all these new characters. I saw they had the hut, and you know what I'm saying? I can do that. And now it is an event. It's now something that should be in the Star Wars bigger universe and not on TV.
Who do we blame for naming it Mandalorian and Grogu?
Jon Favreau.
Interesting. I don't.
I don't know that Favreau
Well, who do you blame?
Mandalorian and Grogu.
The Sith Master herself.
If
yes,
it wasn't,
she would
it
have
could have
the
been somebody in marketing that came up with that
been.
name.
You're right. But I think,
him
and the reason I say
him and Dave just did that interview together,
Mm.
where bits and pieces, clips have been coming out, and one of the clips they asked him about taking it from a TV show, and he talked about all that. He was the one that decided. I guess you could say Dave with him, but he did say in that clip, and we decided that we had. His words were, what we had was not a movie, so we had to completely rewrite it, and we rewrote it, and we went with the name Mando Grogu. So that's John.
Yeah,
I would love to hear the context of that, and then I'd like to hear why they didn't have a season, why they had to make it a movie, and whose idea that was. I put everything on Kathleen Kennedy.
He said, I forget what words he used. He said, what team he said came to them and said, how can we make this bigger, or turn this into a movie, or is this a movie, or whatever the words he used. And then he said, they had the conversation about it, he said, and then they looked over what they had currently, and he said, oh, this is not a movie, so we have to rewrite it, start from scratch.
They should have stopped there. Oh, this is not a movie. That's what they should have stopped.
Then go make a movie.
Right.
We gotta sit through this. We gotta sit through the Starfighter thing with Ryan Gosling and Sean Levy. As talented as Sean Levy is, and as talented as Ryan Gosling is, gotta sit through that and see where it leads to. Obviously, there's that rumor that it all roads lead to Rey, whatever. And
But
then
see,
what is the? Go ahead, Blue.
Wait. Oh no, I didn't mean to cut you. Go ahead, finish, because I think I'm gonna be able to piggyback off what you got to say.
I forget my point. Go.
Sitting through that Starfighter movie with Ryan Gosling, and what's the next one you said? I think it's another one coming up, right?
It's just that Starfighter
just
movie.
that
That's the only movie we know about.
To me, as much as Star Wars needs the Skywalkers to move forward, they also need something new. Starfighter, Mando was new, and that's what, you know what I'm saying, it was new. It was a way to get back into the Star Wars franchise, and kind of cleanse your palate of what we just got with the Palpatine daughter story, or whatever the hell that shit was, right? This is, I don't think the Starfighter movie is going to be a sit through, like, oh shit, we sitting through, gotta wait for that, you know. I don't think it's going to be that. I think this should be a good jumping on point to spearhead into Filoni world, or wherever we're going with him heading up.
So.
You don't think so, there?
I think.
You think it's gonna be bad?
I think this one's gonna be a disaster as well.
What are we talking about? Starfighter?
Starfighter, yeah.
I have no evidence
They've
of that.
had more time to work on Starfighter than they had on Mando Grogu. Even though Filoni and Favreau were heavily involved in the production of this, I do not think that this was their direction. I do not think that this path is what they wanted to do with those characters or this story.
You mean making it a movie?
I think Disney front office was like, listen, we haven't had a movie in 7 years. Make something. I don't give a shit what it is. preferably with Mandu Grogu because they're the highest grossing merch sellers that we got right now.
Oh, obviously, yeah. Take the TV show into a movie, go, guys.
Yeah. Like I don't give a shit what you got to do. Get something on the big screen, and I mean, even at that, it's made like 170. It opened up to 170 million dollars, so it's not a total flop. It'll make its money back.
But it opened less than Solo though. It opened less than Solo.
I'm very sure. I'm very sure about that. And the reason I'm sure about that is because we are talking as if from project to project, Star Wars is getting better or changing. And in the opinion of the court of public opinion around Star Wars is showing you in the Mandalorian and Grogu box office. So if you think that just because we drop someone like Ryan Gosling into a galaxy far, far away, that's automatically going to boost the box office. That story better be good. We're going to be coming up on 50 years of Star Wars, and for the first time in Star Wars' history, it's getting passed up by a fucking crazy Psycho X horror story film.
Hey, that obsession, man, obsession.
So
I told you, there's horror don't play no games,
I am very sure about that. I'm very sure about that.
With Starfighter, I think. My point about the Mandu Grogu movie is that I don't think that was their direction. I don't think that's what they wanted to do. I think they made what they were told to make. Starfighter is a little bit of a different story. They've already started. They started changing the ending to that back before we had got the first trailer of Mandu Grogu. So yeah, this will be the one that tells me whether or not the Filoni era is going to be on anything.
This is.
I'll know whether or not to expect something of this era of Star Wars from Filoni based off the Starfire movie.
I want to go back to what you said about cutting that Boba Fett out of, or cutting whatever, you know what I'm saying, separating. I think they did the Boba Fett too early. I think this should have been a Boba Fett movie. I think if you hadn't done the Boba Fett TV or whatever, I think Boba Fett would have been a perfect way to that Mandalorian universe and all of that, using Boba Fett. Because that's an actual OG Star Wars property. You know what I'm saying? And you would have had the time to work with it and do it. You could have actually made a movie, not coming off a TV series to try to make a movie.
So did you just
say
here's
the thing? Oh, go ahead.
Well, then
an
in the latest
trilogy.
I'm sorry, I didn't see that. Go.
You can read it.
I didn't see that. You say so in Star Wars all we have is Mando, Rey, Starfighter. Yikes, that's really it. That's
not if you're listening to the scoops, because they're trying. It seems like they're trying to get back to the stuff that makes money in Star Wars. If that's the case, if they're going back to the Skywalker folks, then a lot of this we can kind of put to bed because we know what that does.
But they're not getting rid of the sequels.
What'd you say?
They may do that. They may give us whatever, like an in between of what Luke, because this is where we at with Ahsoka. This is Ahsoka. This is not okay. So this is before Rey. We haven't reached Rey with Ahsoka season 2,
right?
So the Skywalkers, as in Luke and Leia, would still be in their prime. So even if we do prime stuff with them, which I would like to see, it would be cool. It still all leads to the sequel trilogy. And the reason I say that is because that same interview where they were just talking about the script, he talked about World Between Worlds, and he said and confirmed it is not time travel, and you cannot change things on the timeline. I don't know what the fuck it is.
That's fine.
It all leads to the sequel trilogy. What specific story aspect do you mean? Like that Luke becomes a hermit?
No,
but that Rey exists.
No, that he becomes the hermit. He tries to kill the sequels.
He's saying
these are the sequels.
Yeah, it's stationary.
What if we
no matter what,
all of that stuff isolated in the spot that it's in right now? What if we take this saga all the way up to defeating Thrawn, and then we skip ahead?
I can see that happening because I don't feel that the sequel trilogy was that like they didn't even blow up Coruscant in episode 7. It was another planet that the Star killed. You know what I mean? Like everything that they did, you can't really self-contain it and just ignore things. Yeah, Rey is a character who exists, but last we saw her, she put her lightsaber in the dirt. Maybe she keeps it there forever. You don't really necessarily have to make Rey the leader of the Jedi moving forward.
But here's
It's
the
the
thing.
same way, right, how we always go back to
That's after though. Where Filoni's picking up. We're Ahsoka season 2 is before Force Awakens. So everything that they are currently doing is before Force Awakens. So she doesn't put that lightsaber down until episode 9. So regardless, we're still going to Hermit Luke. We're still going to Dead Leia. We're still going to lightsaber in his stomach Han Solo.
The fact that that stuff has already happened gives us the opportunity to end our saga with Thrawn and then pick the story back up beyond episode 9.
That
You know what
hasn't
I'm saying?
happened yet,
We don't have to go back to that spot of Rey. We don't have to pick up directly after. We can go 100 years into the future. Rey could be the hermit now, sitting in the cave.
You can
Like,
go.
I don't think we're on the same page. Ahsoka season 2 is not future stuff.
No, that's what he's saying.
I understand.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
End Ahsoka season 2 on Thrawn, and then the next Star Wars project. Takes
the
us
next
beyond,
Star Wars project.
Yes, takes us beyond the sequel trilogy.
You know what I would like though? Like you mentioned, Boba Fett. He's an original trilogy character. What if they recasted Han, Luke, Leia? They just did 3 movies, or did something in that time period after Return of the Jedi. And they just let's just have those characters in live action. That'll bring people who actually care about Star Wars to the movie theaters. So I think it should be successful and just have fun. Don't have to worry about Ben Solo or anything. Just do a big event. Thrawn could be there. Yu Zhan Vong. They can make up any original thing. Just do that, and
so
then we can do this
outside of canon. This would it'd have to be done outside of canon then.
Why?
Because canonically, that would not make how would that make sense canonically?
You just said all of this is happening prior to episode 9, right?
Before episode 7 happens and Luke becomes what he becomes and all that stuff. Before the Jedi Academy, before all the BS that we experienced.
So canonically, there are comics. There are already comics and books that fill in those gaps before we pick up in episode 7. Before we pick up on the screen.
We don't do extended universe stuff though. We're not
extended. No, the comics
not everything
is Marvel comics.
Yes, these are comics that were these are Star Wars comics that were put into place to fill in gaps.
I don't give a shit about that book. Ain't nobody reading that shit.
Filoni doesn't care.
I'm just letting you know what's canonic. And canonically, they're not going to stray. Then
these books that you're talking about canonically, like they came out after the Disney purchase and they're canon?
Correct.
Yeah. They're Marvel comics.
And what happened in the Marvel comics
it shows like Ben when he was younger and some of the Jedi that Luke had at the.
Got it. Before Ben is born, let's have adventures of
we go
Luke.
Before those two. I'm telling you, brother, they have filled in the gaps. They have gone in.
You can still do things, and those 3 characters, along with Chewbacca and everyone else, you can still have them do things and face threats that happen, even if these canon comic books, and we can ignore canon like Filoni seems to not care about comic book canon. We can ignore canon, but if we do respect canon, they can still do alternate things during that time period that doesn't like fudge with anything. We can have.
Add
not
to
to mention, did we all just forget that last year we watched Darth Plagueis creepily hanging behind some rocks and shit with some random apprentice that we never knew about? Like, in terms of sticking to canon for canon's sake, I think there's a little bit of wiggle room there, especially.
That's George Lucas about Ahsoka, who was not mentioned
that
at
show
all.
Be canceled, and we're never gonna see any parts of that again. We'll never see We'll never see that whatever they had cocked up.
Plagueis out here gooning
come to life.
The character of Ahsoka Tano was not mentioned at all, and then in 2008, they're like, "Hey, let's make this character a thing," and they added to during this time period.
I have to push back on that though. Ahsoka was on their minds before 2008. Ahsoka was on their minds in 2005. Ahsoka was supposed to be in Revenge of the Sith. So just went a different direction. So this is a character that's always been there. They just chose to hold her back.
But that's what we're saying there. So these Luke, Leia, they're there, and let's say, because in the comics, it's not like it's day, you know what I'm saying? Day after day after day in the comics. There's a gap, give me a month of what Luke and Leia is doing for just a month of, trying to get things back going. That's all we're saying. To add to the canon. You see what I'm saying? It's spots you can just slip a story in to do some Skywalker stuff. I think that's what Marcus and Chilla.
Yeah,
I mean, I
isolating
agree.
Ray is not that hard. Like isolating Ray in the timeline where we saw her and moving beyond her is not complicated at all. Because they literally did it with Luke all the way up until Mando season 2.
Right.
So like
I just
it's
don't
not
know
hard.
why they would isolate her though. To if they're having these conversations with Daisy Ridley, as she says they are, behind the scenes.
Which she has
is it
every
to-
reason to suggest that they are, but we haven't really heard anything about her project since a while. What,
Or
at
any
least a year
project.
now.
She had a movie last year.
No. Star Wars. Her Star Wars
Star
project.
Wars.
I
Oh,
want to
okay.
say there was something recent, so let me see. Hold on.
Was it from Star Wars Holocron, a GQ interview saying Simon Kingberg's upcoming Star Wars trilogy is reportedly intended to function as episodes 10, 11, 12 of the ongoing Skywalker saga. I hate that term, Skywalker saga. But it's supposed to be 10, 11, 12.
She's
We've
not
been
a
knowing that.
Skywalker. Why is she a?
She just did you didn't hear her quote
What was her quote?
that she gave about why she took the Star Walker name, the Skywalker
Well,
name?
No, who cares?
Oh, because she wanted to carry on the legacy, and obviously, when you want to carry on somebody's legacy, you steal their last name.
Yeah,
So
just like
that's
T'Challa.
how that goes.
Just like Toussaint's gonna call himself
Or you
T'Challa. Same
or
thing.
just
Don't
carried
play
their
with me.
name. She's not a Skywalker. I don't know why she just can't be her own thing, but
Literally a Palpatine, like Palpatine blood all
literally,
up into her.
right.
So calling the thing the Skywalker saga was not anything until they wanted to sell episode 9. So the completionist can go, well, I was watching the Skywalker saga. So I hate that term. It's meaningless.
You cannot do this, Perp. I love you, brother, but that is not possible.
Build off of Ray? Yeah,
It's not possible.
Uphill battle.
It is not.
That's
I think you're running off the premises that this is 2015. When she was introduced,
They don't have the culture cachet.
there was still leniency for, like, we all left the theater accepting that Force Awakens was New Hope remade, but we accepted it because it was like we were told Star Wars was dead and never coming back. So it's like, holy shit, it's back. We got this cool. Whatever.
cliffhanger.
It's a new hope. Cool. And that cliffhanger was actually a good cliffhanger. It was great.
Amazing.
It was
And
great.
Snoke was there, so we didn't have to wait for a second movie to
That's what
find
I
out
loved.
who's the guy behind the guy.
Thought it was great. It was all great. After 8, the damage was done, and the world you're living in of building off Rey no longer exists.
He likes episode 8.
You cannot build off of there's not a character on the sequel trilogy that you can build off of. Not one.
People were
not bullied into
hating
disliking
Ray.
Ray could do no wrong. What couldn't Ray
He's
do?
the
Ray could
perfect
fly
character,
planes. She could use the Force. She knew how to fight. Like, what couldn't Ray do?
She accidentally channeled her inner Palpatine and blew up a starship in the third movie.
Come on, they didn't. It wasn't overblown hating on Ray. Was the perfect Mary Sue character. See, matter of fact, they need to change the name from Mary Sue to Ray Skywalker. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying?
I bet she forced
the hate is valid. The hate is valid. I'm sorry to say, but it's valid. I mean, we watched Luke struggle through 3 episodes, and even at the end of episode 6, still hadn't mastered everything on the Force. Yes, he had trained with Yoda, but his training was not complete with Yoda. He didn't finish his training. So anyway, we saw all that stuff. She came in episode 7, not knowing shit about the Jedi or anything like that until she met Solo and said, "Oh, the Jedi are real. The stories are real. Blah 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 blah."
Real.
Then she mind fucked a clone or whatever the fuck they are, First Order trooper.
Mm-hmm.
Something Luke was astonished at Obi-Wan doing on Mos Eisley. And so the criticism's valid because you made her the Jesus Christ of Star Wars. She came in episode 8 juggling. But she blew the hole out the cave, juggling the rocks for them to escape and all that kind of shit. Like, no, it's valid hatred. It is valid hatred.
Why can't you build off Finn?
Because
they didn't do.
They're all linked
in the first 3 movies. Yeah, they didn't do shit with them.
They're all. I link them all together.
I mean, what build off Finn with?
Like they went out of this when I was talking about those comics being canon. They went out of their way to do a whole Poe shit. And his family and how they got drug into and it's all like, I don't give a fuck.
We should have found out that Finn was Force sensitive at the beginning of episode 8.
But that's what he thought. He thought he was signing on to be the Black Jedi.
Yeah,
Come to
I
find
thought
out.
he was about to be the Black Jedi. In the
Pretty
first
sure he
trailer for Force
was.
Awakens, the first face you see
Is
is
he-
who?
with the lightsaber. Yeah, look.
Oh, in the desert. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the desert when he take off his stormtrooper helmet. I'm like, it's a
Pretty
black
sure he
stormtrooper.
was
in the desert,
They made
yeah,
a
in the
black
desert,
clone.
Yeah. And I'm not giving up on a black Jedi. I'm just saying John Boyega's character Finn is not it. Let's put resources into someone who is not damaged goods.
Yeah, they got to go. I don't know what direction you really go in with Star Wars. I mean, the writing was
would
on the raw
do-
for Mando Grogu, so
I would just do Vader.
Hold
I
on,
would
I gotta
do
spray
Vader
this.
hunting down the rest of the fucking Jedi Order.
Because
A
Lord
Darth
knows
Vader
how
movie.
many of them escape Order 66. It's about
Yeah.
100 of them that escaped.
A
We
Darth
just
Vader
keep
movie.
finding new ones.
A Darth Vader movie, a Luke recasting Luke movie or trilogy or just direction in the future. That's the way to go. And that's what they'll do. That's the way to fix Star Wars. But we got to sit through Starfighter. And I don't think for episode 10, 11, 12, you got to jump hundreds of years into the future. Like if you go 3 years into the future after episode 9, it doesn't matter. The time period is not the issue. It's the which characters you spotlight. With that said, how about the Nemesis TV show on Netflix? I have seen almost every single episode. How many episodes have we seen here on this on the panel right now?
6 episodes in.
Good.
I watched them all.
Okay, we're pretty far. Okay. Amazing show. Quality entertainment. Not the representation I'm looking for. I'll start there, but good stuff. Thought provoking. You know, these opposites, but they're exactly the same. You know, whoever is who wrote it from Behind Power. What was her name?
Courtney Kemp.
Courtney Kemp. Yeah.
Good job,
Courtney
Courtney.
Kemp.
Good job with this.
And she actually dedicated this. She dedicated this show to her father, which I felt was interesting because I had always identified a daddy issue in Courtney Kemp from watching the Power series.
Well, no, she said that in Power, Ghost is her dad.
Is her dad? I can see that. I can see that, and I can tell that there was some angst there, probably some conflict with her dad, and how they writ them later seasons for Ghost. But in this show, at least to start out, and this is how Power started out too. So I'm very, very cautious about how passionate I'll get about this show. But it seems like there is a little bit more focus, at least right now, on the intellectual jockeying in between what is his name? What's that man's name? Wilder and
Wilder and Isaiah Styles.
And Isaiah Styles. Yeah, Styles and Wilder. So it's a little bit more hood Sherlock Holmes than New Jack City for me.
I don't even think this ain't even hood to me.
Well, black Sherlock Holmes or criminal Sherlock Holmes, however you want to put it. But it's not a 1-to-1 to Power. Power was more of a let's give you a day in the life of the drug game, right? In every aspect that it exists, from the block to the boardrooms to the clubs to wherever this stuff exists. This is more so of an isolated story about two imposing figures. And
this is what we get with white TV shows.
Say what?
This is what we get with white TV shows.
Most of the time, for sure.
This is
sure. It doesn't have as strong of a damning cultural aspect. I don't think there's as much commentary about our community, at least negative commentary about our community in this show as compared to a lot of the Power series.
It just sucks that the good guy of the show was a cop. Like,
well, so this is the reason why I like that, though.
What's wrong with
that's what they are, agents of that.
No.
Police?
Yeah.
So with Styles, right? I think what I've gotten, at least out of the first 6 episodes, if you had to choose a good guy or bad guy, a amoral character versus a moral character, Styles has to be the amoral character.
Yeah, between the two, sure.
He has to be.
No,
it's not just
see. I know y'all ain't finished.
No, hold on. It's not just his occupation. It's the lengths he's willing to go to.
Yes.
And what his motivations are. They have nothing to do with upholding the law. They have nothing to do with wearing that badge that he has on his chest or being a good man. He wants to win. And so he will sacrifice other people. He will throw other people in the line of fire. Yep. He's really the bad guy. playing for the quote unquote right team. And so Wilder, in the contrast to that,
he's a bad guy too because he kills.
He's a bad guy because he kills people, right? However, if you look at him and his relationships, the way that he goes up and above to try to keep people up and make sure that they're okay. Yeah. He's the moral character. He has a better moral standing in the amoral life that he lives than the cop that's chasing him.
That's why you gotta finish it. You gotta finish it because you're gonna see at the end. You're gonna be like, damn, spot on with that, spot on. Because
I expect it.
He is his morals. Other than they both want to win, you are absolutely right. His morals is what carries him to me. And well, I don't want to give it away, but to the W. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like because him being the with Styles being the cop. And everybody like, damn, dog, Coltrane again. Like, why Coltrane on your mind? Like,
man, go home and be with your wife. Let this shit go.
You know what I'm saying? Like, your whole family is falling apart, and the only thing on your mind is Coltrane. What is going on with you? You know what I'm saying? He just can't stop Coltrane. And he right. It's just they like, okay, we get it. Go home though. You know what I'm saying? Like, go home, man. Why you still at work? So, and like you said, the links that he's willing to do and the hurdles that he's willing to run through because he's not jumping he's just knocking them shits out the way, like
bitches down. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? to do that and to try to it's like watching it was another cop show that I'd be watching, but you know where a cop would the guy might be he could never get the guy, can't get him dead to rights, so he either plants evidence or does something like that to get him, and then they get to court to find out shit, he planted evidence and now he getting
like
fired.
Russ' whole case is,
you know what I'm saying, stuff
right
like that.
I was so glad that something happened earlier. I'll spoil, sorry, but it was earlier in the season where he made it where like, these cameras I'm gonna block them. I'm gonna block the vision of these cameras. And I was like, you can still see up to the point that it was you who blocked the cameras. Like I was thinking. But there was not that was not a loose thread. It paid into fruition. There's something else that took place where a photo was taken, and I thought, the photo was of character A and character B. I thought character C would use this to hurt character D, but no, it was to blackmail character E. You guys know what I mean, right? And I was like, that photo, I thought it was gonna be used for a certain. Yeah, I'm like,
this guy is next up on my list for sure.
Yeah, I meant to watch him over this weekend, but I just didn't get the opportunity. It was busy.
Well, the drive-in opened up for us this weekend, and they had Mando and Devil Wears Prada back to back, so I caught that.
Last thing to touch on today after Nemesis would be the X-Men 97 TV show. We got leaked trailers. We've got season 4 announcement. Brad Winterbaum does not play.
That was the leaked trailer?
No, that was the real trailer.
The official trailer?
No,
okay.
That trailer was real. That was the official trailer.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys like it?
Man, look. Bo
did his thing.
That ain't Bo. I went to check the credit.
That's not Bo.
That ain't Bo.
They took his credit. Come on, man. We already did this story. They took his writer's credit for season 2 because he wouldn't play along.
They took it down to the bare bones.
They said they rewrote it.
They gave him the executive producer credit. He still gets that credit, but he don't get the writer credit.
So they did say that they rewrote it. I'm wondering to what degree. Right, like we love season 1 was aside of some criticisms. If we love season 2, why wouldn't we put that on Bo's plate as opposed to
because Magneto has clothes on. Everybody has clothes on in this.
So the show may not be as gay as it was in season 1, but I still story beats.
Morph is still he Morph the way they got Morph on this is still that. Even in the trailer, he was like, at least buy me a drink first. Talking to Wolverine, you know what I'm saying? So it's still that. But no, and I'm joking, but I'm not. And watching that trailer, this feels more heavy than the first season.
But it was meant to be, though.
You know what I'm saying?
Stakes are higher, yeah.
The stakes are higher, plus he had a lot of plans for season 2.
It just don't feel, and it's a trailer. So
now,
I don't feel Boish, but
I have to give, I say what I say about Bo, and
oh, do you?
And I was looking at his Twitter after this.
I'm blocked, so I don't know.
He blocked you. Well, I was looking at his Twitter after this trailer just to see, because the man hasn't spoken since January. And that has to do with whatever he put out with that whole. It's a whole rabbit hole with the whole Brad Winterbomb thing and blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff. So blah. I was hoping he was going to have something to say about this though, but although anyway, I say what I say about Bo, but the man can write.
He can.
I've always given him that credit. The man can write. So if this is without him, although the trailer, because you can cut anything together and make a trailer look good,
right?
Mm-hmm. I still need to see this because I still hail X-Men 97 as some of the best shit they've released since Infinity War. So this looks good. It looks great. Guys need to see it because this is not him. From my understanding, they did strip this down to the bare bones.
I see. I feel like number one, it would have taken longer if they would have rewritten the entire thing.
It did. They did take over a year.
Mm-hmm.
Did it got delayed by a year? When did season 1 come out?
Yeah, it's been at least 2 years since we last had X-Men 97.
Yeah. Okay.
It's been a while.
Okay. Maybe, yo. Maybe.
Wait, is it good? Like, okay, forget who wrote it, who didn't write it. Okay, fine. But did you guys like get intrigued?
Nah,
Did it remind you of a comic story?
Yeah, I thought the trailer was good.
The trailer looked good.
I thought the trailer was good. I like the new characters that are going to be in this. Yeah, I think it looks good. I'm excited for this. I love season 1. So again, cautiously excited, but I'm excited.
I was burned by Boondocks season 4, where Aaron Magruder was not part of it, and I think that's what this will be.
Yeah, if they truly took, if they truly did what y'all are suggesting they did, and it stripped Bo's influence altogether, I think that's a bit of a mistake. I think you wait for season 3 to do that.
When we say rip Bo's influence, but also like Bo was really leaning on comic books and saying, I'm going to adapt it in the best way possible into the TV show. If they're not thinking about adapting comic book stories into the TV show and it's just like purely original ideas, then that's going to, it's never worked.
That's going to affect the show for sure.
Looking at this trailer, it's all comic book stuff. Like I as I'm watching this trailer, I'm seeing the comics. I'm seeing the visuals from the comics that I read. Age of Apocalypse, the X Factor story with Apocalypse coming. You know what I'm saying? Like all of this stuff is Kang. I saw the picture, that had Rumur in there. Like it's only thing they would be missing is Fantastic Four to show up doing that whole Rumur situation. Like it's all from the comics, from what I'm saying.
Okay, the visual cues like the one I see here, sure, but that doesn't really mean that the story and plot will match.
I don't think it's gonna be a 1-for-1 story, but even so, you got the Red and Slim story going back, getting with young Cable and the Ascana son and all of that. You see that in there. You see because it's.
I got you.
What this trailer seems like it's gonna be at least 3 different timelines.
Yeah,
that's what I'm looking at. Like it's at least 3 different timelines. You're getting ancient Egypt, and then you're getting all the way in the future with Apocalypse. Shit, it might be 4. You're getting, because they said they got to take them back to the 90s, so we're going to get back in regular time period. So it's a lot going on, but it seems like they are pulling at least some of the stuff out of the actual story. I think it's dope. I like how they Cajun Tupac, like they started with the whole Gambit gone. You know what I'm saying? Like they did that with that trailer. They did.
It looks good.
That's how you do a trailer, man.
It is. They did a good job.
James Gunn. That's how you do a trailer.
They ain't had no Beastie Boys. They was missing the Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
Did you like it, Chill? I ain't heard you say anything about it.
Because I did not watch it until just now with the sound off.
Oh. Nah, you gotta watch it with the sound on. Because it's a heavy trailer. It's a heavy trailer.
No, but I think I'll watch the episodes and I don't want to have I want it to be fresh. So whatever. They don't gotta sell me on this. So I'm gonna give it a shot, but it's Disney. It's Marvel.
This is like adjacent though. Like for some reason you can't. It's like X-Men can't. You can't put smut on X-Men for some reason.
I hope Yeah, X-Men got a pretty good reputation.
Yeah,
with
they got a pretty good record. Yeah.
Video games, it's amazing.
It's hard to put. I mean, X3, some smut. I guess that Wolverine Origins,
Dark
maybe.
Phoenix, Age of Apocalypse. They got a lot of stinkers in the movie side. Now,
yeah.
everything else.
Yes, Age of Apocalypse, Dark Phoenix. We don't even mention those.
And X-Men Origins.
Origins.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think
but they make up for it with my bad, Chill. First Class and they make up.
And Days of Future Past.
What an amazing movie.
Logan.
Days of Future Past.
Great movie.
Yeah. So
Days of Future Past for sure.
Oh,
it's a great movie.
It's also the best X-Men story ever told. So it's cheating a little bit, but I'll take it.
Yeah, fantastic.
I guess I have to get Disney Plus in July.
Yeah.
Yep, it'll be back. It'll be back. You've got that in July. You've got Spider-Man in July. Announcements from Marvel. Comic-Con.
That's a shot across the bow.
Better than Captain Marvel? Tina, I gotta revoke your card, man. I'm gonna have to take it. At least hold it a day of suspension. Dark Phoenix better than Captain Marvel. Dark Phoenix. I always say this about Dark Phoenix. Dark Phoenix was so short and sweet, and I don't mean sweet in a good way, but it was so short and concise and like to the point that it seemed like it almost makes it like it's a good movie. It's horrible. Who is the bad guy? What is she doing? Why is she there? All of these, like, is she an alien? Is she not? What the hell is going on?
Wasn't she supposed to be a Skrull, and then they changed it because Feige was in charge?
I don't know what she was. They just saw that she was a
awful
white lady, and
then why is a Skrull bringing the Phoenix to Jean Grey?
Like the movie made no sense whatsoever, and it was quick. So it was like you get in and get out. You know what I'm saying? Unlike Age of Apocalypse, which was a little longer, and you got to sit with fucking
awful.
The Power Ranger dude, the purple guy from the movie, the bad guy in the Power Rangers movie.
Oh, what is that man's name? What's that dude's name?
Because that's what Apocalypse looked like to me. I was like, they destroyed that.
Well, Jonathan or Oscar Isaac wasn't necessarily the best cast to play
at all.
Age of Apocalypse.
He shouldn't have even been 10th on the calling list.
Dark Phoenix. I will never forget. Goddamn Professor X crip walking up the damn stairs. It will always be the thing that lasts. It's like, why did they put that in the movie? Gee, no. Gee.
I'm telling you, I don't think anybody wanted to do that movie. Jennifer Lawrence, she didn't even change at all. She didn't I think she shaped the one.
She said, "Kill me,
reason.
Kill me."
Then they killed her.
She said. Shove this fucking tree through my chest and let me go home.
Yeah, that's what I don't want to see in X-Men 97 Phoenix. I'm through with Phoenix anything. We're good off. Phoenix.
It's coming.
It's coming. They're gonna do it in the MCU. In the MCU,
there's so much more X-Men that you can do that's not Phoenix.
That's why Jean Grey is the first X-Men that they're
I hate it. I'm with you,
going right back to the Phoenix.
I don't think we need Phoenix no more.
How many times we gonna do it?
Movies. Too bad. Well, too bad Phoenixes, I should say. I don't think X2. Well, no, that's X3.
No, that was X3. Every time we've done the Phoenix in live action, it's been a stinker.
I would love to see a movie, Avengers vs. X-Men. Skip the Phoenix parts. You don't gotta adapt that part of the comic book. Just Avengers vs. X-Men without the Phoenix.
Motherfucker, let's get straight to Krakoa. What we waiting on? What we waiting on?
You work your way up to that.
Man, y'all better all sit back. Put your feet up and relax, because you're not even getting the original team first.
Man, let's get to Krakoa, man. Quit playing.
You're not getting Krakoa.
They might try to relax and enjoy the X.
At least take me to Utopia. We don't got to go back to the school, man. Come on.
Nah, you got to do the school. Got to, because you got to have a reason. Like you got to have like a starting point.
Yeah, like, but they haven't been around though, Blue. They ain't been nowhere, so it make more sense that they've been on a secret island, all just kicking it away from everybody's sight.
I mean, I see you trying to throw logic in it. Remember, they don't care. They just gonna give it. Just like T'Challa is gonna be 30 years old already. Like they just gonna make sure that they there.
I am very, very curious how they are going to explain where they've been.
they've been on that island, or they've been on that Eternal that's in the Arctic. But you know what messed that up? The goddamn Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Black Falcon and his shield of
Or not Falcon,
vibranium.
Winter Soldier.
There's a
Brave New
rumor
World.
that William Metzer, who's being played by what's black dude everybody thought was Kang.
Tillman.
It was being played by Tillman.
Mhm.
That apparently he's already, again, rumor, he's already got other mutants in custody.
Oh,
It's crazy. They picked
and
this
you know,
dude.
after he's after Sadie and all that kind of stuff.
One
You know what's
appearance in a
interesting to
comic.
me?
That's crazy.
How do they plan on differentiating mutants from the rest of the powered individuals in the MCU at this late stage of the MCU? Like, it's one thing if we had mutants early on,
yeah.
but now it's just like, what makes them different from?
But you know, that's the story in comics in Marvel anyway. That's always been the story. They try to do it's mutants, Inhumans, mutates. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like
but
Spider-Man.
There's a certain gene that they have.
Mutants, though.
Yeah, it's
And it's
because
just understood.
the humans who are not mutants, they fear them because you're the next generation. Oh, you're better than me. You're the advanced version of it. Wait, what's so good
That'll
about
be the
you?
story. It won't be
At least that guy got bit by a spider. At least he was a science experiment. At least that guy got angry
that'll be
and
the
ran
story.
gamma rays. But you with you're genetically better than me. That's their story.
Yeah.
Wonder
Yep,
Man.
mutant in the genes. It's in the genes.
But also with Secret Wars and however they reboot / reset, however they determine the way the world is, we could easily just skip how are they going to make it make sense? Boom, the world has mutants now, and
I think
all the characters who died are alive again except T'Challa. Boom.
To me, Chill,
He's not
real,
wrong.
real quick to do that. I think you have
That's
to.
exactly
You
how
got to.
they'll do
I think you go back and you revisit the Eternal, because that's where the whole mutant situation came from anyway. I think you figure out how to integrate that, and it can tell the story real quick, like a quick flashback. Eternals, whatever, boom, mutants came about. They've been here ever since.
3 years ago, there was an event, Avengers vs. X-Men versus Eternals Judgment Day. That's probably a phone call from Feige, like, "Hey, yo, go do something here because I'm gonna make a movie about it in 10 years."
They Judgment Day was talked about a while ago. Again, nothing official from Marvel Studios, but
I did a
from the Scoopers at least. I believe Judgment Day is pinned on a wall at Marvel Studios. Do you bring Gal back? Fuck no.
Who?
Jessica Gal from the Eternals. Do you bring her back?
No.
That was their opportunity, though. Was
Chloe
Eternals.
Zhao.
That's the where the Easter eggs for mutants should have been.
Right.
I mean, that's the trajectory, right? From demons, Eternals is birthed mutants.
Yeah,
Right,
but
not
I think it's really going to be as Chill said. I don't think they dive in from Spider-Man Brand New Day. I don't think they dive into, well, here's where the mutants have been. I don't think that happens. I think it's really going to be, as Chill said, Secret Wars is going to be their scapegoat from everything.
Yep, it is.
Abracadabra.
Once we do that reset, we can say whatever the fuck.
So right now, are the mutants from a different universe? Are they in a different?
Oh, who cares? It's irrelevant.
They're not
little
gonna care.
theme that
it's
Ms. Marvel
relevant.
I
had.
think they're here.
Hold on, it's relevant because Sadie Sink's here now.
I think they're here.
For what movie? And then they'll never have to worry about it because the universes will all have an incursion. They'll crumble into each other.
Right? Why are we crushing together universes if the mutants are already here, though?
That's the plot of Secret Wars.
Marcus, I'm with you. I
don't
don't
argue
think that, but see, that's why I just don't believe in Sadie Sink being who she is. I'm still on what I'm saying when it comes
You
to
holding
Sadie.
it out.
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm
I
still-
tell you what, the theater gonna be mad as hell if she be like, "I'm Typhoid Mary." They're gonna be
Because-
so pissed.
because-
She's got to
and-
be a big character, though,
She
if
does.
we are believing rumors that she's
does,
in Secret
but-
Wars.
To make the sense of it all, we bring Sadie
Doomsday
Sink in,
and
we
Secret
crush
Wars.
the world together, we do Battle World, and then we start over with mutants just being here.
That's true. That's true.
It's like,
That's
Namor
why?
is a
true.
mutant.
It
Kamala
is.
Khan a mutant.
Right, Kamala, right, but
Wonder Man is a mutant.
we got four mutants. What we got? 4 mutants. Well, no, because we have some mutants in She-Hulk too. Are we counting Mr. Immortal and
He is a mutant. Yes, he's on the west. He's on the what? Great Lake Avengers.
Great Lake Avengers, and it was shit.
Red Guard. No.
No,
No,
yep,
it was
Bear?
Super
yeah,
Soldier.
the bear.
Isn't
Not the-
Doorman a
not the
mutant?
Musa,
No,
not
Doorman's
Mansa
not a
Musa.
mutant.
What's his
Doorman
name?
is a mutant.
Musa.
Is he a mutant?
Doorman is well, not in Wonder Man. They
Yeah,
had
but
him touch
the
black
status
glue
of
and
But
what
comic
mutant,
wise, he's a mutant,
yeah,
isn't he?
comic wise, he's a mutant. Yeah.
but the status of what a mutant is in the world and what they know about mutants, it will all be contextualized again after Secret Wars, after Battle World, and after Earth returns to a regular Earth. They'll be like, "This is the new status quo." Boom. So like, who cares what's going now with?
Wonder Man is Haitian.
He's a Haitian. LOL.
Yeah, and I mean, I still once again agreeing with Chill again. I think once it is reset, they're gonna be like, I mean, but I see what Marcus is saying, because the mutants are, if Sadie Sink is who they are proclaiming her to be, the mutants are currently here, which we know already from Kamala Khan, Namor, whoever the fuck else they've deemed a mutant in the MCU. So it's just like, what have they been doing? But then again, at that point, I used to care about that question. I don't.
Thank you.
You know what the thing is though, Darius? It's
I don't give a fuck.
It's like and right. It's like, so all of these people are mutants, but who cares because they're not X-Men.
No,
And I
no,
think-
not even that.
Yeah,
No,
not
they
even, not
saying
even
they
that.
don't care just because we about to get X-Men, just get them
Right,
in.
but
here.
my
that's
thing is
bullshit.
my thing is going forward, we're talking X-Men, like the property is X-Men. But I guess they're gonna try to sell
But
us
it
on mutants.
also going forward, we are 2 years away from it not mattering with the reset.
Right.
But I think we're assuming
It's-
so much
it's
on this
gotta
whole
matter.
reset
Yeah.
thing, man. Like
It's gotta
we're
have
expecting a
purpose.
brand new universe after Secret Wars. I don't think that's what I think that's what they're selling it as. But what I think it is a way for them to patch holes or course correct certain storylines that they want to make going forward. I don't think it's going to be a totally new universe.
No, that's-
Yeah, I
The
agree with
new
you.
part,
Starting over from scratch.
the new parts
agree
will be
with
the inclusion of mutants. The Fantastic Four live here now. Maybe some other things that I'm forgetting.
It'll be slight. It'll be slight. It'll be recognizable to the universe we knew with a few adjustments.
For the audience. But again, if we're to believe rumors, the characters outside of Strange and a few others, probably maybe Professor X, whoever he is, are going to remember the old universe. Now, are they going to sit down and tell the rest of the MCU a story of the old times? I doubt it.
Let me tell you about 1980. Like,
let me take y'all back to 2012.
I mean, if you have Strange who remembers, what, Thor maybe?
That'll be a good way to put Miles in live action. Secret Wars. That's how he came over from the Ultimate Universe.
It is, but they're not gonna do it.
But I think
Sony-
the biggest issue too is not putting it. Well, I won't say it's a biggest issue. I mean, it'll be a makeshift version of Secret Wars anyway. But he's not going to be in it, which is crazy. I think that's dumb. I always assumed that final film for Miles was going to feed into the MCU's Secret Wars. I always assumed it was, just because him being a part of it. The title was Beyond the Spider-Verse. I was just thinking maybe he's breaking out of or breaking into live action or something like that. He's, we've seen different universes in his.
The rumor I heard, and this was early, you know what I'm saying, was it was going to be animation and live action pieced together.
And see, I hate that.
You know what I'm saying?
I hate that.
Because it was following in the whole breaking out of the Spider-Verse and coming over into the live action. That was a rumor. Now I was like, I think y'all going a little too far with that. You know what I'm saying? But that was a rumor that I was hearing.
Oh no,
that's how they should have did it.
No,
Beyond the Spider-Verse should have ended with him as an actual person.
Oh yes,
or should end. They're still making it, but
yes,
if they don't decide to do, I don't know why they're playing so hands-offy with Miles, especially because they don't seem like there's no urgency to get him out. So if you're not urgent about making his movie, why not at least introduce him in an MCU project? But then again, that's always been their problem, is utilizing their characters in Marvel projects to springboard them. They've never really done that other than Spider-Man.
I've said this before. I don't want to be repetitive, but I do have to say it. It's that once you cast a Miles, the clock is on for this live action actor, and he will age out of his stories as a teen.
So then get to it. Like, what are we waiting on? What are we waiting on?
Well,
you making it seem like once you announce
something.
him, you got to sit on it for 5 years.
I hear you,
Because
too,
they're
but
busy.
Hollywood has adults play teenagers all the time.
Cool. Those adults eventually will get way too old where it's so unbelievable.
I mean,
But they're busy doing the Tom Holland Spider-Man stuff. So while that's still going on, while the Tom Holland stuff is still going on, I just would not introduce Miles and say, let's try to make him succeed. Let's chill on that.
We talking
would
about
a young adult Miles be at the end of the world? I mean, we talking about introducing Virgil as a young adult. Why wouldn't that be?
Virgil it doesn't have like a competing guy under the same moniker living in New York City. It's very different.
What does that matter? I don't see them.
You don't have to see it.
I mean, you do have to see it. Like, what do you mean you don't have to see it? If I'm watching it, if I'm
that is the one I do disagree on. I think that I think you can do them both.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, Tina, but you know.
So you think the only way that we could get Miles in there is post Tom Holland? Like Tom Holland has to be out of the way?
I think you should do more with Tom Holland Spider-Man as the appetite is there, but I don't want to do this for another hour. I am good on the stream and we hit everything we were supposed to talk about.
Hey, chill. Sometimes you gotta let people talk. If you want to peace out, I understand, man. It's getting late, but maybe I had some more to say.
I got you. I will take that invitation to leave. I love you all. There's a super actually I should touch on before we go. Let's go X-Men 97 with it.
You gon' think about me when I'm gone. I need that money like the ring I never won.
I'm sussing Arthur $2. Grogu movie was super mid. Little sister like it though.
That's what it was for.
Yeah, it was a 4 out of 10 movie or a 6.2 out of 10 movie, Arthur. So like Babu Frick and everything was appealing to the kids. Okay.
Yeah, that's who it was for. It's for the kids.
Season 4.
I just want to. I'm sorry, child. I know we're doing the super. I got to push back on the Spider-Man thing. Spider-Man is one of those IPs to where you can have 1,000. That's why you get Spider-Verse. That's why that was the thing. Spider Island, Clone Saga. Like you can have multiple Spider-Men running around. That's his whole thing, especially from the 90s going forward. Is Ben Reilly and this clone, that clone. You know what I'm saying? The Spider-Verse and Spider-Pig and all of that. So I don't understand why you couldn't have a Miles. We got it going on in the comics now. It didn't stop. It didn't hurt Spider-Man and it didn't necessarily hurt Miles. Miles hit his peak and he stayed there, right?
There are 60 comic books being published by Marvel every month. There is 3 movies a year. So is it kind of different?
What does that got to do with bringing a 22-year-old to play a 16-year-old who is going to look youthful for 10 years?
It has to do with it happens in the comics all the time. I'm just trying to show you that since there's such a volume, so much more that happens in comic books versus how many less movies come out. That's a huge difference in how much you are allowed to do or will be tolerated or there's an appetite for.
I'm looking at it from the aspect that you have an opportunity now with, arguably the most popular Spider-Man that you've had to use him as a springboard, right? Like he doesn't have to take over the mantle. He doesn't have to supplant Tom right now, but like use the exceeding popularity that you got going on right now to plant a seed for your new character. That is the calculus. I don't necessarily think that you have to have a Miles solo film. Could Miles show up in the 4th Spider-Man if there is one? I would hope so. Well,
I say they better hurry before Tom puts that baby in Zendaya because he's going to take a break. You're going to need a Spider-Man to fill in that gap.
I mean, would that be a bad thing? Like for Tom? I mean, Tom ain't my favorite Spider-Man anyway, but would that be such a bad thing for, family time? He takes the hiatus. So he knows whatever, because let's say he does it. Let's say he plans it out to the 2nd or 3rd of this trilogy that they're doing now with Spider-Man, right? He plans that out. That movie is now introducing Miles to take over, kind of like what Marcus is saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see why that would be such a. I just think the runway for Spider-Man is huge. It's not like these other different. Like to me, Spider-Man and Batman is like. They don't register the same way these other characters register. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like they operate outside the
norms.
Yeah. So people would want Spider-Man, Miles, Peter, Ben. Shit. Look at what we got with Spider Noir. He ain't even Peter Parker. He Ben Riley over there. You know what I'm saying? And people are enjoying that. So I just don't see how Miles would come in and be hurt by it or hurt Tom by it.
I mean, I see the argument where like you could oversaturate it. Right? Maybe if you tried to put out a Miles movie around or the same time as the Spider-Man 4, I do think that if you're going to have a Spider-Man 4, I would probably go with that as being Miles's first appearance, especially since he's not going to be in Secret Wars, which is another failure to me. Sony, what are you doing with your characters that you can afford not to be in a Secret Wars movie? Like, what you got going on over there between Madam Web and Craven and all that?
They got a new creative director over there for the Spider-Man properties,
and yet still,
it just happened. So this is Margaret ready to go off. Yet still, we still ain't.
Let's see if they.
So we gotta see. They have to do. They got to do Spider-Man properties in order to keep it. That's in the contract. That's why you get. That's why you was getting Madam Web and Morbius and all of that other stuff.
No, I get why they're using them. Why they're trying to use those characters. It doesn't make any sense for you to bogart the ones that you want to be leaders, that you want to be main titles. If you expect Miles Morales to be a main title for you, then you got to put him on the largest stage possible, and you're not always going to be able to provide that stage. That's why you're in business with Marvel.
And I kind of think that's a false narrative. Remember, before they was in bed with Marvel, we got the Spider-Man movies killed it. It's not like they had a failing product with Spider-Man.
They never hit the marks that they're hitting now without Marvel.
Right? No, I agree with you. I'm just saying it's not like.
And they've also failed with the Spider-Man as well. So
what they failed with? Which one?
But don't play with me. You know who they.
Come on,
with.
no, talk. You
know
to
who
me.
They failed with.
We talking.
You know they failed with.
Talking numbers though. I'm talking money. Because you can come out and the audience can be like, I ain't like it, but the dollar sign showed that you.
So you failed. If the audience didn't like it, then you failed.
No, I'm saying loved it. If the audience show up,
they loved it,
and the money is there.
Nicolas Cage loved it.
Fam, it's the only Spider-Man series that didn't receive a trilogy. I think that speaks for itself.
But why did it didn't receive a trilogy? Because they wanted to do another Spider-Man. You don't remember what happened? The Sony leaks and all of that.
Dog,
they
first
was hacked.
of all,
Sony
Amazing Spider-Man 2 was objectively bad. The second one was objectively bad. Now, the first one, I'll give you a little bit of leeway. It was exciting. We had a new Spider-Man. It made $700 million.
Did it make money?
It made $700 million. It made some money.
They all made money. That's all I'm getting.
It makes money. All Spider-Man movies make money.
That's all. That's all.
That's the only Spider-Man franchise not to get his trilogy, though.
But I told you. But there's a reason behind it. It's not like they wasn't going to do another one.
Fam, leaks don't stop you from making a movie. That makes you have reshoots.
No,
that don't mean you scrap the entire project.
When the actor walks away, because in the leaks, the emails, they talking bad about the actor. Yeah, that's why Andrew Garfield walked away.
Fam, that sounds like a spiraling production to me. They talking about the lead actor, the script is leaking. Now the lead actor walking off the set. That sounds like a disaster.
Going to make the movie. You acting like they saw that they saw the numbers and was like, you know what?
He was the best Spider-Man in No Way Home.
No, we're not doing that today.
He was the best Spider-Man
today.
We are
all three of them.
No, we're not.
We're gonna do that.
He got the biggest
Andrew
claps.
Garfield was the best Spider-Man.
Yeah,
he got the biggest claps when he came through that portal.
Y'all gotta stop. No, he did not. I don't know what theory
he was in. In my theater, they loved Andrew Garfield's shoulder. They was like, oh hell yeah.
Boy, y'all gotta cut that shit out, boy.
Yeah. Well, who the best Spider-Man?
Only in y'all's minds is Andrew Garfield more popular than Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. Only
Andrew
in
Garfield
your
minds.
Like
Peter Parker.
He does.
He does not. He's like 6'4". He's a Abercrombie and Fitch model. He looks nothing like a nerd who gets bullied in high school. He don't look like nobody who ever got bullied anywhere.
I mean, he looks like Peter Parker, man.
No, he don't.
He
no, he don't.
He is the best one. He is the best,
man. Everybody's saying he the best.
Listen,
He the
what
best
no,
actor out of the
everybody's
three.
not saying it. Tina's saying
The
it, and she
chat-
said Miles
no,
is
the
the
chat-
second
all
best.
of the chat
Then
is
she
saying
said,
it.
hold on, you got to disqualify the answer. She said Miles is second best. Disqualify the answer.
Andrew's great, man. I
Andrew
love
was great in the costume. Outside of it, as Peter Parker, he was as tall as Flash. It wasn't even believable.
How tall is Spider? Let's hold on, man. Because you act like Spider-Man is like 5'6" or something. Let me see.
Tobey Maguire looked like a meek individual outside of the suit. Tom Holland looks like a believable bullied nerd. Andrew Garfield looks like the bully. He looked like Flash.
Andrew looks like you could have taken his lunch money.
Come on. Okay, I just looked it up. For comparison, this is the same exact height as Andrew Garfield. He's 5'10" in the comics. He's 5'10".
Okay, so give me the other ones by comparison, because he's definitely not the same height as
Tobey
Tobey
Maguire and Tom
Andrew.
Holland are slightly shorter at 5'8". They're smaller than what the comic book accurate Spider-Man would be.
Them 2 inches show. And even with
It's
Andrew
his
Garfield,
hair.
he looks a lot taller than 5'10" on screen. I'll give you that.
It's his
That's 'cause
hair.
He's lanky like Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man is lanky.
It's because the man looked like he was bathing in hair gel and Axe in them movies. He looked nothing like no Peter Parker.
Hey, he did, especially
he
when
was the best Spider-Man. Got the mannerisms, got the quips
no.
down. Like he is Spider-Man.
No.
Yeah, he had the quip.
First of all, did Mary Jane die in Tobey Maguire series?
Almost.
Did Mary Jane die in Tom Holland series?
Almost.
Not only is he the only one to only have 2 movies, but he also the only one to lose his girl.
Well, he
To
went
death,
through the most.
not to another man. Died.
Yeah, he went through some real stuff, man.
That's why when he showed up, it was so emotional.
Every other Peter Parker learned from Uncle Ben, and then that whole we ain't doing that no more.
What did Tobey go through?
What you mean? What did Tobey go through?
Compared to Andrew,
They went through the same stuff. Only Tobey didn't get his girlfriend killed.
He didn't get that girl killed.
Yeah,
he told her to keep her ass.
Stay home.
Gwen's father asked him specifically,
Yeah,
leave my daughter alone. He is dying. He promised that man with his dying wish that he
I
will
can't
leave his
control
daughter
him.
alone.
He should have said, "Hey, man, I can't control your daughter." She showed
I ain't trying
up.
to hear all that. I ain't trying to
She
hear all
showed
that.
up. I told her to stay her ass over there. She showed up.
He gave that man his dying wish and said, I will leave your daughter alone. Before the movie was even out, he had broken the promise. Before the movie even ended, he broke the damn promise.
And I'm gonna say this: Tobey shouldn't have got a third movie because that movie was.
I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah,
he got it.
It's not woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's what it is.
I don't want to hear woulda, coulda, shoulda.
That was a bad. Do you watch it?
Yeah.
You go back. Do you revisit?
Yeah,
I do.
I watched Spider-Man 2 more than I watched Spider-Man 3, but you know, the trilogy is a trilogy,
Spider-Man
baby.
3. The only parts of Spider-Man 3 I can tolerate are the parts with Sandman. Like the robbing the bank. That's pretty cool.
Nah, most of Spider-Man 3 is trash. But he got a trilogy though. He got a trilogy. And he the OG. Trying to hear.
No, he the OG. I give him the OG. That's what he gets. He gets starting it off. I give him that.
And being the best.
But that don't make him the best.
He's the best between both worlds. He's an accurate Peter Parker, and he was also great in the suit.
No.
Andrew was great in his suit.
Yeah, he was. He was. Except for when he got Gwen killed.
Hey.
Look at y'all shrugging y'all shoulders. Y'all ain't no heroes. Look at that anti-hero attitude.
Her hand and said, "Stay here."
No, he should have left her ass at home where her daddy told him to.
Or she could have just gotten a cab and left. You know, I mean, come on, man.
Free will.
The damage was already done.
How am I going to control a grown-ass woman?
He needed to learn his lesson twice. Everybody else learned their lesson after Uncle Ben. See, he hard-headed. He the only hard-headed Spider-Man. He needed to learn that lesson twice.
He learned his lesson after
Tobey lost his girl though. So I mean, he wasn't even really.
He got her back.
There for.
He got her back.
What, by 3?
Yeah, he
part
got her back.
3 didn't have her.
He got her back. He did. He got her back at the end of 2.
So he didn't really have the opportunity to get her killed.
No, he got her back at the end of 2.
The opportunity wasn't there.
She walked out of her wedding with Wolfman, with Jonah Jameson's son, and she went back with Peter.
J. Jonah Jameson Jr.
And didn't never mind. I was about to say something.
Not
like
not
didn't old
Spider-
buddy smash her before he got to her anyway? Didn't Harry get to her first?
Yeah, twice
Yeah.
actually. He tried to nick back with her on Spider-Man 3. He tried to get her again in Spider-Man 3.
Not Spider-Man related if we got not saying anything else. Marcus, I know you're not watching, so this won't bother you. Nate's dead, and there's one episode left.
Oh, well, good. Something good happened in the show.
How he died was really stupid, but he's dead.
What y'all talking about?
Euphoria.
Oh. I couldn't get into Euphoria.
No, yeah, I bounced out on episode 3 of this season. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, I couldn't get it.
Chaotic.
Did y'all talk about that Punisher one shot? Did y'all talk about that?
I think we talked about it the Thursday after it came out. It was okay. I didn't really understand.
With more time, it was pretty dumb.
I didn't really understand where this was supposed to be happening, like location wise or timing wise. It felt like New York, but like, how is this New York during all of that Kingpin shit in Daredevil?
Yeah.
So
it made me mad, man. I was totally heated by it, and just the dumb shit, like him jumping off the roof and then the dude throwing the dude to fall on. Like I was like, what is going on here, man? What are we doing? And then just I'm gonna put a hit out on you at 6:47, right?
I'm gonna tell you though. I'm gonna make sure I
tell you. And you go back, and I don't know what project he was staying in, what Spanish project he was staying in. He goes back to the Spanish project, and he's just standing at the door. Oh, after hugging on the make believe who was that? From Daredevil.
Karen.
Yep.
Then they just show up. I guess it's 6:47. She said, "Hey, look at your watch. It's 6:47." Who are who are the villains? Because it was chaos. The whole from start to bottom, they was looting and rioting and hitting people over the head.
That's why I didn't understand. I was like, are these rioters from the Daredevil thing?
Yeah,
like, is that what's going on or what? It seemed like they were trying to create this idea of like lawlessness. And that really, I've heard Bernthal talk about Punisher as a character and what's important to him about Punisher. And I swear this shit makes me itch sometimes because he's very pro cop. And he doesn't want to. That's why Daredevil season 2 got reworked a lot because he didn't, or not season 2, season 1, because he didn't want to be shown like necessarily being anti-cop, right? And so in this one, it seemed like they created bad guys for him from the public. This area is so lawless that we need a Punisher-like figure to go here and clean up all this shit. Between the old man's dog getting thrown out to the truck and stuff. And it's just like, what is this? These are the worst people I've never seen in my life. What country is this?
But so, because you was like, well, what time and where did this
timing
take place?
as well? Yeah. Yep.
Right. And I'm like, well, if Kingpin is still the man, that means where's the
task force?
Task force would have cleaned all that. That wouldn't be going on. Then somebody in my chat was like, well, that's what happens when you get a power vacuum going on. I'm like, no, that's not how power vacuums work. It's not just people out randomly gunning people down, hitting them over the head.
In Western society.
Well, that's why I even said, what New York is this? Because we're about to see Spider-Man in July and Punisher is in that. You're telling me this is the streets of New York we're going to see in Spider-Man? Because it's definitely not. I'm seeing puppies getting thrown in front of cars, people running around.
That's why I don't like her being Jean Grey, running around with the Punisher. Like, it just, the vision of Jean, if they starting Jean Grey off with being this gritty, urban, redhead demon devil running around with the Punisher, is that the what we're trying to sell when it comes to the X-Men? Like,
I guess I don't see how this leads into Spider-Man at all in the least bit. I don't see how this leads into Spider-Man at all.
What they said is supposed, like Lauren said, it's supposed to take place between 1 and 2. So which means Kingpin has everything under control. And another thing that makes sense, when Frank broke out of the dog pen that they had him in, he just went to some random hood and lost his mind all over again. Like, why does this would be the third time he lost his mind and then figured out, okay, I need to be the Punisher again. Like, why do they keep rehashing that story?
The family storyline, yeah, you would think he'd be moved on to new traumas by now, but I guess not.
Well, it's like Moon Knight said, still talking to that dead family.
It's I don't mind him having that as a driving factor for what he does, but once you become the Punisher, once that's in your head, like, why does he have to keep finding justifiable reasons to be that? Is what I'm getting at. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like when he got out of the pen in Daredevil season 1, did he say, I don't want to be the Punisher no more?
I guess.
And it's not going to be the same. Ira said he's interested to see how the Punisher is portrayed in Spider-Man Brand New Day. It's not going to be like that.
They could have put that money in the blade. You know what I'm saying? Bring Sticky Fingers back or something. I don't know. They could have did something. That money that money was not spent well, in my opinion, on this Punisher. I called it comic book violent porn because that's all it was. It was just like a violent murder fest for no reason. Like, I don't know. And I know Punisher is violent, but this was Marvel saying, I told y'all we can do blood. Like, that's what this kind of was. You know what I'm saying? Like, told you we can do
that
this.
Feels like what the last 2 seasons of Daredevil have been. Like, we can do serious content. We can be like HBO. Look.
And I'm like, nah, this don't work like that.
Yeah. That's what they should have started with Moon Knight. Didn't need to have to be exactly like that, but it could have been a bit more, instead of blacking out, waking up, blood on our hands.
Yeah. That's when you should have got the violence. Him being Moon Knight going crazy, beating up whoever. I don't know. That Ganucci was stupid. We ain't seen her.
That's a comic book storyline too, and they didn't do that shit justice at all. Nope. Like, first of all, do you know your husband, your sons, whoever killed my entire family? You know that? Like, right. You understand that? Why, before you pull up to my house, do you know what your men did to me? Because everything you crying about, I've already been crying about for a couple of years now. I don't know. Right. I don't know if you know that or not.
That you got out in the already.
Yeah, like they did that to me. So I don't know if that plays a factor to you at all. But
and then they tried to sneak Barracuda in there. Like, I'm like, why is this big black man with this blood talent? Whatever. But yeah, I just wanted to get y'all opinion on it, see if y'all had touched on that.
That's enough for me, yo. You done, Darius?
That is it.
All right, folks. You know, you can catch me on Sundays at 4:30 to do dubs and L's and a little bit of behind the cape content, talk about the movies and whatnot. Blue, where can they find you this week?
You can find me tomorrow. Hopefully I have Meek on the show. We're gonna be talking about the new Netflix Michael Jackson court shit, whatever they doing, and wondering why is everybody. I mean, I understand why they're trying to piggyback off of the success of Michael, but I just don't see the need for the court case, because he was acquitted. But you know, it is what it is. But yeah, you can find me at Blues House right here on YouTube. So.
Darius?
I was not live this week, but I will be back live on Monday for the regular scheduled show.
For sure. Pantheoners, it's been real. Catch you next Thursday. Cue to Josh.
Hey, I've been watching y'all every single time on Thursday and Friday, because I swear to God, y'all switch up every now and then. But rock out. I'm fucking with it. I'm out.
Thank you, Josh.
Appreciate it.
All right, dog.